What if the sagas whispered not of glorious battles and pillaged riches, but of a desperate daily struggle against the unforgiving Arctic night? Imagine the biting wind, a darkness that swallows the sun for months, and temperatures that could freeze blood in your veins. Tonight, we won't unravel the mysteries hidden within the Viking runes. Instead, we will find our peace in the slow, deliberate ingenuity of a people who survived the coldest nights of the year, not with the conveniences we take for granted, but with resourcefulness honed over generations. We'll explore their surprisingly simple, yet remarkably effective methods of staying warm and alive. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to Snooze Stories. Now dim the lights. Let the crackling of a virtual fire warm you as we journey back in time to a long ship's hold, a dimly lit longhouse, and learn the secrets of how the Vikings endured the unforgiving winter, mastering the art of staying warm in a world without gas or electricity. Let's discover how layers of furs, clever building techniques, and a deep understanding of their environment kept them safe. The story of their survival awaits. The wind howls a mournful song outside, a keening whisper against the sturdy timbers of a longhouse. Imagine the scene, the fire within, a flickering heart of warmth against the encroaching cold. The air, thick with the scent of wood smoke and simmering stew, a comforting counterpoint to the icy breath of the Scandinavian winter. This is the world we journey to tonight, a world where the sun barely dares to peek above the horizon for months on end, where the days are short and the nights are long, impossibly long. Let us consider first the sheer brutality of this environment. Picture, if you will, the landscape blanketed in a thick, unforgiving layer of snow. The ground, hard and frozen, offers little respite. The wind, a relentless force, bites at exposed skin, stealing warmth with each icy gust. Imagine the chill seeping into your bones, a persistent gnawing cold that threatens to freeze the very life from you. This was the reality of the Viking winter, a challenge that demanded ingenuity, resourcefulness, and a profound understanding of the natural world to overcome. The Vikings, far from being merely brutal warriors, possessed an intimate knowledge of their environment. They understood the nuances of the wind, the subtle shifts in temperature, the patterns of snowfall. This knowledge, passed down through generations, was their most valuable weapon in the fight against the winter's relentless assault. Their survival depended not on advanced technology, but on a deep connection with their land and an intuitive understanding of its rhythms. Feel the weight of this knowledge settling upon you, a comforting blanket of understanding. Their homes, the Longhouses, were meticulously constructed to withstand the elements. Built from timber, often carefully chosen for its strength and insulating properties, these structures offered a refuge from the harsh winds and biting cold. Imagine the warmth radiating from the central hearth, a comforting presence in the heart of the longhouse. The smoke, rising slowly to the apex of the roof, carries away the chilling dampness, leaving behind a haze of warmth and the comforting scent of pine and burning peat. The very design of the longhouse was a testament to their understanding of thermodynamics. The thick walls, often insulated with layers of turf and animal hides, provided a crucial buffer against the cold. The tightly packed earth effectively trapped heat, minimizing heat loss and creating a relatively stable indoor temperature. Picture the soft, earthy scent of the turf mingling with the wood smoke and the rich aroma of cooking food. Let these sensory details soothe you, easing you into a state of deep relaxation. But the longhouse was not merely a structure. It was a carefully engineered microclimate. The placement of beds and sleeping areas was strategic, maximizing proximity to the hearth while minimizing exposure to drafts. Imagine the comforting weight of furs piled high on a bed, a sanctuary against the cold. The skins of animals, fox, bear, even wolf, provided insulation far superior to any modern equivalent. Feel the imagined softness of the furs against your skin, the warmth slowly permeating your body. Clothing, too, was a critical component of their survival strategy. Layers upon layers of wool and fur created a protective barrier against the elements. Wool, a remarkable natural insulator, trapped air, creating a layer of warmth between the skin and the freezing air. Imagine the softness of the wool against your skin, the gentle tickle of the fibers, creating a soothing sensation. The outer layers, often made from thick animal hides, provided a robust shield against wind and snow. Picture the sturdy feel of the leather or fur, a tangible representation of protection against the cold. And let us not forget the food. The long, dark winter demanded a diet rich in calories, providing the energy necessary to withstand the cold. Dried fish, salted meats, and preserved vegetables provided sustenance during the lean months. Imagine the rich, savory taste of a hearty stew simmering over the hearth, its aroma spread through you, creating a sense of satiation and contentment. The Vikings were not simply enduring the winter, they were actively managing their environment, adapting their lives to the rhythm of the seasons. Their ingenuity, born from necessity, was a testament to their resilience and adaptability. Their methods were simple yet effective, a reflection of their deep understanding of the natural world. As you drift off to sleep, let the image of their resourcefulness, their quiet strength in the face of adversity, remain with you, a soothing reminder of the human capacity to overcome even the harshest of challenges. The cold night outside is muted, the warmth of the longhouse embracing you, and as you breathe deeply and peacefully, let the rhythmic crackling of the fire gently lull you to sleep. And as you breathe deeply and peacefully, let the rhythmic crackling of the fire gently lull you to sleep. But the warmth of the longhouse, its very existence, was a testament to more than just individual ingenuity. It was a direct reflection of the deeply ingrained societal structures that underpinned Viking survival. The longhouse itself, far from being a solitary dwelling, served as the cornerstone of a communal living arrangement, a microcosm of the larger social order. Imagine, if you will, the interior of this substantial structure, its length often exceeding 100 feet, its width capable of accommodating multiple families under a single roof. The central hearth, a roaring inferno of burning peat and wood, casts a warm, flickering glow across the space, illuminating the busy scene within. The air, thick with the scent of wood smoke, mingled with the aroma of cooking food, hearty stews, roasted meats, and freshly baked bread, filling the longhouse with a comforting, homey fragrance. This shared space was not just a place of shelter, it was a nexus of social interaction, a place where the rhythms of daily life unfolded in concert. The rhythmic chopping of wood, the low hum of conversation, the gentle clinking of pottery, all woven together to form a soothing tapestry of sounds. Feel the steady, comforting pulse of this communal heartbeat resonating within you, a calming rhythm that eases your mind and body towards slumber. The arrangement of the longhouse itself was a testament to the Vikings' understanding of social dynamics. Families were typically allocated specific areas within the longhouse, their sleeping quarters often separated by partitions crafted from wood and animal hides. Privacy, while limited by our modern standards, was nonetheless carefully considered. Imagine the soft, worn texture of these partitions, the scent of aged wood and leather mingling with the ever-present aroma of smoke and hearth-cooked food. The arrangement was a subtle balance between shared community and individual family space, a testament to the carefully constructed social fabric of Viking society. The communal aspect extended beyond simple cohabitation. The sharing of resources was a cornerstone of Viking society, particularly crucial during the harsh winter months. Food was often shared among families, ensuring that everyone had enough to eat even during times of scarcity. Imagine the generous spirit of this shared sustenance, the feeling of unity and mutual support fostered by this practice. Feel the warmth of this communal generosity radiating through you, a comforting sense of belonging and security. The longhouse was also a center for crafting and repair. During the long winter months, when outdoor work was limited, the inhabitants would often gather around the hearth to engage in various crafts, from weaving and sewing to woodworking and metalworking. Imagine the gentle clicking of knitting needles, the rhythmic tap-tap-tap of a hammer against wood, the soft hum of voices sharing stories and knowledge. Feel the soothing rhythm of these repetitive tasks washing over you, calming your mind and relaxing your muscles. But beyond the practical aspects, the longhouse also served as a crucial social and cultural hub. It was a place where stories were told, songs were sung, and rituals were performed, strengthening the bonds of the community and preserving cultural traditions. Picture the flickering firelight dancing on faces, the warmth of human connection enveloping you, as tales of bravery, adventure, and mythology are shared under the watchful gaze of the ancestors. Hear the ancient songs, their melodies imbued with the wisdom of generations past, their rhythms gently rocking you towards slumber. The importance of the Longhouse extended beyond the immediate family unit. It fostered a sense of collective responsibility and interdependence. The very act of living together, sharing resources, and collaborating on various tasks created a strong sense of community vital for survival in the harsh Scandinavian winters. Imagine the feeling of shared purpose and mutual support, the unwavering strength of communal bonds. Feel the weight of this collective unity settling upon you, offering comfort and solace. Even the construction of the Longhouse itself was a communal effort. Men, women, and even children would contribute to the process, working together to build and maintain their shared dwelling. Imagine the strength of this collective endeavor, the satisfaction of achieving something significant as a group. Picture the camaraderie of the workers, their hands roughened by labor, their spirits lifted by the collective endeavor. The Longhouse was more than just a house. It was a microcosm of the Viking social order, a testament to their ability to organize themselves, to share resources, and to support each other in the face of adversity. Its existence demonstrates the value placed upon community, a value that proved crucial for their survival through the long, harsh winter. As you drift off, remember the warmth of the hearth, the comforting sounds of the Longhouse, and the unwavering strength of the communal bonds that kept the Vikings safe and warm. The rhythmic crackling of the fire, the slow, steady beat of communal life, all combine to lull you into a deep, restorative sleep. The night is quiet, the Longhouse is warm. Sleep soundly now. The construction of the Longhouse, a testament to Viking ingenuity and collaborative spirit, began with the careful selection of materials. Imagine the crisp autumn air, the scent of pine and damp earth clinging to the breath of the builders. The primary material, of course, was timber. The Vikings favored sturdy, easily worked woods like oak and pine, felled with precision and skill. Their axes singing a rhythmic song against the resilient wood. Picture the smooth, cool surfaces of the freshly cut logs, their scent strong and earthy, the sound of the wood yielding slowly to the sharp bite of steel. These trees, felled with respect, became the very bones of the Longhouse. The process was not merely practical, it was a ritual, a connection to the land that sustained them. The logs, carefully chosen for their strength and straightness, were then painstakingly hewn into shape, each cut deliberate and precise. Feel the weight of the axe in your hands, the satisfying thud as it cleaves through the wood, the clean scent of pine sap filling your nostrils. The skilled hands of the builders, calloused and strong, worked in a rhythmic dance, their movements fluid and practiced, honed by generations of experience. These weren't merely builders, they were artisans, shaping the very heart of their community with care and dedication. Once the main structural timbers were prepared, the foundation of the Longhouse was laid. Often, a simple foundation of stones was sufficient, ensuring the wooden structure sat above the damp earth. Imagine the coolness of the stone beneath your fingers, the earthy scent of the ground rising to meet the fresh wood. The builders would have carefully leveled the ground, ensuring a solid base for the imposing structure that would soon rise above it. The placement of this foundation wasn't arbitrary. It was a consideration of both practical needs and the subtle energies of the land, a silent conversation between the builders and the earth itself. The walls of the Longhouse rose slowly, each log carefully fitted into place, their ends interlocked with precision. The builders employed sophisticated joinery techniques, their skills honed over generations. The rhythmic thud of the maul, the satisfying click of interlocking timbers, the soft groan of wood settling into its final position, all formed a calming symphony of creation. Feel the texture of the rough-hewn timber, the cool smoothness of the carefully fitted joints, the satisfying weight of the structure slowly taking shape around you. The roof, a critical element in resisting the harsh Scandinavian winters, required particular skill. The Vikings frequently used steeply pitched roofs, allowing snow and rain to slide off easily. Imagine the carefully crafted rafters precisely angled and securely fastened to the supporting walls. The rhythm papping of hammers, the soft creak of wood under pressure, the steady hands guiding each piece into its rightful place, a gentle lullaby of construction. The framework was then covered with layers of turf, acting as both insulation and waterproofing. Feel the cool dampness of the turf, the earthy fragrance of the soil, the slow, steady weight of the covering settling into place. Insulation was a crucial aspect of longhouse construction, a vital defense against the brutal winter cold. The outer layer of turf provided a significant barrier against the elements. Beneath this, layers of animal hides, carefully sewn together, added another layer of protection. Imagine the soft, pliable texture of the hides, the natural scent of leather and animal hair, the warmth they would provide against the biting wind and snow. The hides were not simply thrown together. They were carefully arranged, creating a warm, snug haven against the harsh elements. Baiting the wooden frame and the outer layer of turf and hides, additional insulating materials would have been employed. These could have included dried grasses, moss, or even layers of wool, further increasing the thermal efficiency of the dwelling. Imagine the soft, dry textures of these materials, the faint scent of dried grasses and wool, the gentle warmth emanating from this protective layer. The interior of the longhouse was just as carefully considered. The central hearth, the heart of the home, provided both heat and light. Picture the warm glow of the fire, the comforting crackle of burning wood, the dance of shadows against the wooden walls. The hearth wasn't merely a source of heat, it was a focal point, a symbol of warmth, comfort, and community. The smoke from the hearth, while sometimes a bit pungent, also served as a deterrent against unwelcome visitors and added a characteristic smell to the interior. Beyond the hearth, partitions created separate living spaces for families, providing a degree of privacy within the larger communal dwelling. These partitions, often crafted from wood and animal hides, would have been simple yet effective, offering a balance between shared space and individual family areas. Imagine the soft texture of the hides, the comforting warmth they provided. The darkness beyond the partitions would have helped people fall asleep soundly, lulled by the comforting sounds of the longhouse and the warmth of the hearth. The gentle, rhythmic sounds of the longhouse, the crackling fire, the hushed conversations, the soft snores of sleeping inhabitants, created a comforting soundscape, and as you drift into sleep, let those sounds fill your mind, each one a soft whisper guiding you towards a peaceful and restful slumber. The longhouse stands complete, a testament to community, ingenuity, and the unwavering human spirit. Sleep soundly now. Now let us turn our attention to the heart of the longhouse, the very source of its warmth and life, the hearth. Imagine the careful selection of stones, each one chosen for its size, shape, and ability to withstand the intense heat of the fire. These stones, often sourced locally, would have been carefully arranged to form a sturdy base for the fire, a foundation upon which the warmth of the home would be built. Feel the rough texture of the stones beneath your fingertips, their cool smoothness contrasting with the anticipated warmth of the fire. The stones weren't just randomly piled, they were meticulously placed, creating a stable and efficient fire pit, a testament to the Vikings' understanding of both practical construction and the subtle interplay of natural elements. The hearth itself wasn't a simple hole in the floor. It was a carefully constructed feature, often raised slightly above the ground level to improve airflow and contain the embers. Picture the meticulous placement of each stone, the steady hands of the builders ensuring a level and stable structure. The rhythmic tap-tap-tap of the stone hammer against the stones, a soft and repetitive sound that would have been reassuring in the midst of the construction. The shape of the hearth varied, sometimes circular, sometimes rectangular, always adapting to the size and layout of the longhouse. Visualize a circular hearth, its perfectly rounded perimeter suggesting a comforting, almost womb-like presence in the center of the home. Or perhaps a rectangular hearth, its straight lines suggesting a sense of order and practicality. Regardless of its shape, the hearth's function remained the same: to provide warmth, light, and a central focal point for the community. Consider the materials used in its construction. The stones themselves, chosen for their heat resistance and longevity, are crucial, but often the Vikings incorporated other elements to enhance the hearth's efficiency and longevity. Clay, for example, might have been used to line the fire pit, creating a smoother, more durable surface that would help contain the heat and embers. Imagine the cool, damp earth being carefully shaped, the potter's hands shaping and smoothing the clay, preparing it for the intense heat it would soon endure. Feel the texture of the clay, smooth and cool to the touch. Then picture its transformation under the intense heat of the fire. The smoke from the hearth was a crucial consideration. In smaller longhouses, a simple hole in the roof would suffice, allowing the smoke to escape naturally, but in larger longhouses, more sophisticated methods were employed to manage the smoke and its effects. Imagine a carefully constructed smoke hood, built from wood and clay, directing the smoke upward and out of the dwelling. This hood, carefully positioned above the hearth, would have been crafted with both aesthetic considerations and practical functionality in mind. Picture the meticulous detail involved in its construction. The smooth curves, the carefully fitted joints, the precise angles that ensured efficient smoke extraction. All testaments to the Vikings' engineering prowess. The smell of the smoke, though sometimes acrid, would have been a familiar and comforting element of the home, a constant reminder of the hearth's life-giving warmth. Beyond the practical aspects of smoke management, the design of the hearth often had cultural and symbolic significance. It represented the heart of the home, a physical manifestation of the family unit, and a sacred space. It wasn't merely a functional appliance. It was a source of warmth, light, and communal gathering. The embers, glowing softly at night, would have provided a gentle and comforting source of light. Feel the warmth radiating from the stones, the gentle light illuminating the faces of those gathered around it. The rhythmic crackling of the fire would have provided a constant, comforting backdrop to the daily rhythm of life. The fuel for the hearth was largely wood, collected from nearby forests. Imagine the rhythmic chopping of wood, the satisfying crack of the axe as it cleaves through the timber. The wood itself held a significant place in the life of the Vikings. They were intimately familiar with the various types of wood, knowing which burned the hottest, the longest, and produced the least amount of smoke. Picture the careful selection of wood for the hearth, each piece chosen for its suitability. The scent of the burning wood, a mixture of pine, birch, and oak, filled the longhouse, adding a distinctive and comforting aroma to the already comforting atmosphere. The management of the fire itself was a daily ritual, a testament to the ingenuity and practical skills of the Viking people. Maintaining the fire was a crucial task, ensuring a consistent supply of warmth and light throughout the long, dark winter months. Consider the careful tending of the embers, adding fuel at appropriate intervals, ensuring the fire burned steadily and efficiently. The subtle art of tending the hearth was a skill passed down through generations, a combination of practical knowledge and an intuitive understanding of the elements. Visualize the steady hands gently adding wood to the embers, ensuring a slow and consistent burn. The soft glow of the embers, the crackle of burning wood, the steady warmth that permeated the longhouse, a reassuring presence amidst the often turbulent world outside. As you drift off to sleep, let the image of the Viking hearth remain in your mind. Feel the comforting warmth of the fire, the gentle glow of the embers, the rhythmic crackling of the burning wood. Let the steady warmth of the hearth soothe you, and let the rhythm of the fire lull you into a deep, restful sleep. The longhouse is silent now, save for the gentle crackle of the dying embers. Sleep soundly. The embers, glowing softly, cast long shadows across the sleeping forms within the longhouse. But even as the fire slowly dwindled, the promise of warmth remained, a testament to the foresight and resourcefulness of the Viking people. For the fire's continued existence, throughout the long winter months, depended not only on the skillful tending of the hearth, but also on a reliable and consistent supply of fuel. Let us now consider the acquisition of this vital resource, a process as intricate and vital as the hearth itself. The primary fuel source for the Viking hearth was, of course, wood. Imagine the vast forests that ringed the Viking settlements, a seemingly inexhaustible supply of fuel waiting to be harvested. But the gathering of this wood was not a simple task, particularly during the harsh winter months. Picture the landscape, blanketed in a thick layer of snow, the trees standing stark and silent against the pale winter sky, the air biting cold sharp against the skin, the ground frozen solid, making travel difficult and arduous. Even finding the trees obscured beneath the heavy snow required diligence and patience. The task began with identifying suitable trees. The Vikings possessed an intimate knowledge of the forest, understanding the properties of various tree species. Oak, for instance, was prized for its slow burn and intense heat, ideal for long winter nights. Birch, with its lighter, faster-burning wood, was often used for kindling or to quickly revive a dying fire. Pine, abundant in many regions, provided a readily available source of fuel, though its resinous nature could sometimes produce excessive smoke. Picture the Viking woodcutter, his axe gleaming in the weak winter sunlight, carefully selecting his trees. He would choose trees that were relatively easy to fell, avoiding those that were too large or too entangled with others. The act of felling a tree was a physical endeavor, demanding strength, skill, and precision. Imagine the rhythmic swing of the axe, the sharp bite of the steel as it cleaves through the frozen wood. The sound, a muted thudding against the silent landscape, a percussion of effort against the indifference of winter. Feel the weight of the axe, the controlled power in each swing. The process was methodical, a careful dance of strength and skill designed to minimize wasted effort and maximize the yield of usable wood. Once felled, the tree was then carefully bucked into manageable lengths, suitable for transport back to the settlement. Each cut, precise and deliberate, demonstrating years of accumulated knowledge and practice. But wood was not the only fuel source available to the Vikings. Peat, a dark soil-like material composed of partially decayed vegetation, provided a valuable alternative, particularly in regions where wood was scarce. Imagine the peat bogs, sprawling across the landscape, seemingly endless expanses of soggy earth. The Vikings, equipped with specially designed tools, would extract the peat, carefully cutting it into manageable blocks. These blocks would then be left to dry, either stacked in the open air or sheltered in purpose-built structures. Picture the process of peat cutting, the cold, wet earth clinging to the tools, the slow, methodical extraction of the peat from the bog. The smell of the wet earth, faintly pungent, mingling with the crisp winter air. The drying process was crucial as wet peat would produce little heat and excessive smoke. The blocks would need to be turned regularly to ensure even drying, a process that required patience and attention to detail. Imagine the weeks or even months spent preparing this vital fuel source, the slow, steady work of transforming raw peat into a usable fuel. The dried peat blocks, once ready, were then stacked neatly, awaiting their turn in the hearth. They provided a slow, steady heat, ideal for maintaining a fire overnight or during periods of low wood availability. Besides wood and peat, other materials were occasionally used to supplement the Viking hearth fires. Dry animal dung, carefully collected and dried, provided a readily available fuel source in times of scarcity. Dried grasses and other plant materials could also be used as kindling, helping to quickly ignite the larger pieces of wood and peat. Even bones, once stripped of their marrow and thoroughly dried, could be added to the fire, contributing to the overall heat output. The entire process of fuel gathering, from the felling of trees to the drying of peat, was a community effort. Men, women, and children all played their part, each contributing to the collective survival. Imagine the rhythmic sounds of the winter work, the clang of axes, the scraping of peat cutters, the hushed conversations shared between workers as they toiled. The gathering of fuel was not just a practical task, it was a vital social ritual, a bond forged in the shared struggle against the harsh elements. The culmination of this effort, the carefully tended hearth, stood as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Viking people, their ability to not only survive but to thrive in the face of winter's unrelenting challenges. As the rhythmic crackling of the hearth fire fades, drift into a deep and peaceful sleep, warmed by the image of this meticulous and vital work. The Longhouse rests in quiet slumber now, its occupants protected by the collective efforts of its people. Sleep soundly. With the fuel gathered, the next crucial step in surviving the Viking winter was the masterful management of the fire itself. The hearth, the heart of the longhouse, demanded respect and understanding. It wasn't simply a matter of throwing wood onto the flames. It was an art, honed over generations, of maximizing heat output and minimizing fuel consumption. Imagine the careful arrangement of the kindling. The slivers of birch, perhaps, their papery surfaces catching the spark from the flint and steel with a satisfying snap. The smell of burning birch, sharp and clean, fills the air. The flickering flame, initially small and hesitant, gradually grows stronger, its light dancing on the faces of those gathered around. The Vikings understood the importance of airflow. The construction of the longhouse itself played a crucial role in this. The carefully positioned smoke hole at the apex of the roof allowed for the efficient expulsion of smoke while simultaneously drawing in fresh air to feed the flames. Picture the slow, deliberate rise of the smoke, a gentle plume against the muted colors of the winter sky. Feel the warmth radiating from the hearth, a comforting counterpoint to the chill of the outside world. The air, though filled with the scent of wood smoke, is noticeably warmer, drier, and cleaner near the fire. The crackle of the burning wood, a constant, soothing rhythm, provides a hypnotic backdrop to the quiet activities of the longhouse. The layering of the fuel was another key aspect of efficient fire management. Larger pieces of oak, dense and slow burning, formed the base of the fire, providing a sustained heat source throughout the night. These were carefully placed, ensuring adequate space for airflow between them. Smaller pieces of wood, perhaps pine or birch, were added in layers, building upon the base of oak. This process, slow and methodical, ensured a steady, consistent burn, preventing the fire from becoming too intense or dying down too quickly. Imagine the careful placement of each log, the thoughtful consideration of its size and shape, and the way it fits perfectly within the structure of the existing fire. Each movement is deliberate, informed by years of experience and an intimate understanding of the properties of wood. The addition of peat added another dimension to this carefully orchestrated process. The slow-burning nature of peat made it ideal for maintaining a fire overnight. Imagine the dark, earthy smell of the peat as it smolders, adding a subtle depth to the scent of wood smoke. The heat from the peat is gentler, less intense than that of wood, but remarkably consistent, radiating warmth for long periods of time. The Viking, adept at managing their fire, might interweave layers of peat and wood, creating a fire that burns evenly and efficiently for many hours. The skill required was not simply technical, it was also one of observation and anticipation. The Viking firekeeper would carefully monitor the fire's intensity, adjusting the fuel and airflow as needed to maintain the optimal level of heat. The efficient use of fuel wasn't simply about conserving resources, it was also about safety. An uncontrolled fire, too intense or too close to flammable materials, could easily destroy the longhouse and everything within it. Imagine the weight of responsibility resting upon the shoulders of the firekeeper, the knowledge that the safety and well-being of the entire community rested on their ability to manage the fire effectively. The quiet diligence of their work, their constant attentiveness, is a testament to the community's resilience, a commitment to preserving the life and warmth of the hearth. Beyond the practical considerations, the fire itself held a symbolic importance for the Vikings. It was a source of warmth, light, and life, representing the heart of the community and the very essence of their survival. Picture the family gathered around the hearth, sharing stories and meals, their faces bathed in the flickering light of the flames. The sound of their laughter and conversation mingling with the hypnotic crackle of the fire. The fire was not just a tool, it was a focal point, a symbol of unity, a tangible expression of their shared resilience. As the flames dance and the logs slowly burn down, the hearth settles into a quiet slumber, a glowing ember maintaining a promise of warmth for the coming dawn. The careful, calculated management of the fire ensured that warmth persisted throughout the night, a bulwark against the encroaching cold. Feel the even warmth radiating from the hearth, the gentle crackle of the embers now reduced to a soft whisper. The longhouse is filled with a sense of quiet peace, the air still carrying the faint aroma of wood smoke. Breathe deeply, feeling the calm seep into your very being. Sleep now. The long winter night is still, and the vigilance of the hearth protects your rest. The embers glow, a soft orange light painting the interior of the longhouse in gentle hues. But the warmth from the hearth alone is not enough to combat a biting Scandinavian winter. The Vikings understood this intimately, and their ingenuity in insulating their longhouses is a testament to their resilience. Imagine the careful layering of materials, each chosen for its specific insulating properties, working in concert to create a microclimate of warmth and comfort within the wooden structure. First, consider the very walls of the longhouse. Hewn logs carefully fitted together form the skeleton, but this is just the foundation for the true insulation. Between the logs, a thick layer of moss, painstakingly collected and meticulously placed, acts as a natural insulator. Feel the soft, springy texture of the moss against your hand, its dampness holding the warmth within the longhouse. The moss is not simply stuffed haphazardly, it's carefully packed, ensuring even distribution and minimizing air gaps. Think of the countless hours spent harvesting and preparing this crucial element, a quiet dedication that forms the very backbone of their winter survival. This layer of moss is further enhanced by a thick covering of clay applied externally. Imagine the smooth, cool texture of the damp clay as it is pressed against the wooden frame, sealing the gaps and preventing drafts. The clay acts as a natural barrier, hindering the transfer of heat from inside to the outside. Picture the laborious process of mixing the clay, the slow, rhythmic motions of the hands preparing this essential building material. Observe the way the clay dries, slowly hardening, creating a protective shell around the longhouse. Beyond the walls, the roof plays a critical role in insulation. The Vikings were adept at constructing steeply pitched roofs, allowing for efficient snow shedding. Imagine the satisfying weight of the fresh snowfall on the roof, its insulation amplified by the carefully packed layers of turf and thatch. This thick, protective layer of vegetation acts as a highly effective insulator, slowing the escape of heat from the longhouse. Feel the soft texture of the thatch, its slightly coarse strands interwoven to create a dense, protective layer. This is not a hasty construction, but a testament to thoughtful craftsmanship. Underneath the thatch, a further layer of insulation is often found: animal hides. These were not simply draped haphazardly, but carefully stitched together and secured to provide a comprehensive barrier against the cold. Imagine the varied textures of the hides, the soft, supple pelt of a sheep, perhaps, or the tougher, more robust hide of a cow. Feel the warmth trapped within the layers of animal skin, a testament to both the skill of the tanner and the resourcefulness of the Vikings. Each hide, carefully selected and meticulously prepared, contributes to the overall warmth and comfort of the longhouse. The floors also received attention. A base layer of packed earth, often compacted with stones, formed the foundational layer. Above this, thick layers of animal skins and woven textiles were used to insulate against the chill that rises from the ground. Imagine the intricate weaving of the textiles, their patterns telling stories of ancient crafts and traditions. Feel the warmth and comfort of lying on a bed of animal hides and thick woven textiles, a testament to the Vikings' careful planning and meticulous attention to detail. The softness underfoot is a welcome contrast to the harshness of the winter landscape. Within the longhouse itself, additional measures were taken to enhance the insulation and comfort. Thick tapestries, woven from wool or flax, were hung to further minimize drafts and maintain warmth. Picture the vibrant colors of these tapestries, their patterns telling stories of battles, gods, and everyday life. Feel the warmth radiating from these thick fabrics, a testament to the ingenuity of the Viking weavers and their ability to turn raw materials into objects of both beauty and practicality. Even the sleeping arrangements played a role in maintaining the warmth within the longhouse. Families often huddled together, sharing body heat and strengthening their communal bond. Imagine the comforting weight of sleeping close to loved ones, a feeling of security and warmth in the face of the harsh winter conditions. The warmth generated by many bodies together was a substantial addition to the warmth provided by the construction of the longhouse. This physical closeness served not just as a form of insulation, but also a potent source of emotional and social support. The success of the Viking longhouse as a winter refuge wasn't solely about sophisticated construction techniques. It was a holistic approach, combining architectural ingenuity with the careful selection and application of materials: moss, clay, animal hides, textiles, and natural vegetation, each playing a crucial role in creating a comfortable, habitable space within the harshness of the Scandinavian winter. The combined effect of all these layers created a remarkably effective system, allowing the Vikings to survive and thrive in the face of some of the most challenging climatic conditions on Earth. Breathe deeply, feeling the warmth and security of this carefully constructed world. Sleep now. The longhouse stands firm, a testament to human resilience. The long winter night is calm, and the warmth within protects your rest. And so, nestled within the warmth of the well-insulated longhouse, the Vikings faced the long, dark winter months. But the warmth of their dwelling was only part of the equation. Survival in the harsh Scandinavian climate also demanded meticulous attention to clothing. Imagine then the layers upon layers that comprised Vikings' winter attire, a testament to their practical ingenuity and understanding of thermal regulation. The base layer, closest to the skin, was often made from linen or wool. Feel the soft, almost imperceptible scratch of the linen against your skin, a natural fabric that wicks away moisture, preventing the chilling dampness that could quickly lead to hypothermia. Consider the fine texture of the wool, its natural warmth providing a crucial first defense against the biting cold. This base layer, thin but essential, allowed for breathability while trapping a layer of warm air next to the body. Over this came a second layer, often a tunic of thicker wool, or even a garment made from animal skins. Feel the slightly coarser texture of this layer against your skin, its heavier weight providing additional insulation. Imagine the warmth of the wool, its natural fibers trapping air and resisting the penetration of the cold. Picture the supple feel of a tanned hide, perhaps from sheep or goat, its soft texture a comforting contrast to the harsh conditions outside. The craftsmanship involved in creating these tunics was considerable. Consider the meticulous stitching, each stitch a testament to the skill and patience of the Viking artisans. Notice the subtle variations in texture and color as the hides were carefully sewn together, each piece contributing to the overall warmth and durability of the garment. The outer layer provided the ultimate protection from the elements. This could be a cloak made from thick wool, a sturdy leather jerkin, or even a heavier garment constructed from multiple layers of animal skins. Imagine the weight of the cloak as it drapes over your shoulders, a reassuring embrace against the wind and snow. Feel the thick protective layer of wool, its dense texture acting as a formidable barrier against the cold. Picture the rich, deep brown of a well-tanned leather jerkin, its surface smooth and supple, yet robust enough to withstand the rigors of daily life. Imagine the intricate patterns that might be worked into the leather, the artistry reflecting the Vikings' commitment to both practicality and aesthetic appeal. Perhaps a heavier garment, made from multiple layers of animal skins carefully stitched together, provided an almost impenetrable shield against the elements. Feel the weight of these multiple layers, the comforting sense of security they offer as a second skin against the unforgiving winter. Beyond the tunics and cloaks, other items played a significant role in maintaining warmth. Thick woolen trousers, often reaching to the ankles, protected the legs from the cold. Feel the comforting weight of these trousers against your legs, their warmth a welcome contrast to the chill of the ground. Imagine the intricate weaving of the wool, its patterns reflecting the skill and artistry of the Viking weavers. Woolen socks or hose added another layer of insulation, keeping the feet warm and dry. Imagine the soft, comforting texture of these socks against your skin, their natural warmth protecting your feet from the icy ground. Footwear varied depending on the terrain and conditions. Leather boots, often lined with wool or fur, provided protection and warmth for the feet. Feel the robust texture of the leather, its strength providing protection against the snow and ice. Imagine the soft warmth of the wool or fur lining, providing a comfortable, insulated environment for your feet. Gloves or mittens were essential for protecting the hands. Consider the intricate construction of these garments, often made from leather or woven wool, designed to provide dexterity and warmth simultaneously. Feel the supple texture of leather mittens, the warmth they provide against the biting wind. Imagine the intricate weaving of wool mittens, their patterns reflecting the skill and creativity of the Viking artisan. Headwear was equally important. A simple woolen cap or a more elaborate hood attached to a cloak provided protection for the head and neck, the most vulnerable areas to cold. Imagine the softness of a woolen cap against your skin, its warmth a welcome comfort on a cold winter's day. Feel the security of a hood drawn tight around your face, shielding your neck and ears from the biting wind and snow. The entire system worked in harmony. Each layer, from the thin linen next to the skin to the thick outer cloak, contributed to the overall warmth and protection. The materials used, wool, linen, leather, and furs, were carefully chosen for their thermal properties, durability, and accessibility. The Vikings were not simply enduring the winter. They were actively managing and mitigating its harsh effects through meticulous attention to clothing and the layering principle. The careful selection and construction of each garment reflects a deep understanding of the natural world and a commitment to resourceful and sustainable living. Imagine the satisfaction of feeling completely protected and comfortably warm, a feeling intimately connected to the skill and ingenuity of those who crafted these garments. Feel the warmth radiating from your layered clothing, a testament to centuries of accumulated wisdom and practice. Breathe deeply, feeling the weight of your carefully constructed clothing, and drift off to sleep. The long winter night is peaceful. You are protected and warm. Sleep now. Now, let us consider the footwear and the protection afforded to the hands and head, equally crucial components in the Vikings' arsenal against the winter's relentless assault. Think of the feet, constantly exposed to the cold, damp earth and the biting winds. Imagine the simple yet effective construction of Viking boots. Often crafted from sturdy leather, tanned to a rich dark brown, these boots were not merely utilitarian, they were a testament to practicality and skill. Feel the texture of the leather, its supple yet strong surface, resistant to the abrasion of rough terrain and the penetration of icy water. The leather, carefully selected for its durability and water resistance, would have been meticulously prepared, stretched, and treated to achieve its optimal flexibility and strength. Picture the process, slow and deliberate, a testament to patience and craftsmanship. The sole, often reinforced with additional layers of leather or even hard-wearing rawhide, provided extra protection against the uneven, sometimes icy ground. Imagine the thickness of the sole, its reassuring resilience against the sharp stones and frozen patches of earth. Beyond the outer layer of leather, Viking boots often incorporated a warm, insulating lining. This lining could consist of wool, tightly woven and thick, its fibers trapping warm air against the foot. Feel the softness of the wool against your skin, its natural warmth a comforting contrast to the chill of the outer world. Alternatively, the lining might consist of fur, perhaps from sheep, rabbit, or even fox, its dense pile providing exceptional insulation. Imagine the luxurious softness of the fur against your skin, its warmth a soothing balm against the winter's bite. Picture the different colors and textures of the fur, a subtle variation in shade and density depending on the animal of origin. Feel the depth and thickness of the fur, a luxurious barrier against the penetrating cold. The boots were often secured with laces, often made from strong leather thongs, tightly woven and durable. Imagine the intricate knotting, a skill passed down through generations, creating a secure and adjustable fit. Picture the laces, dark brown and sturdy, their texture coarse yet surprisingly supple as they are pulled tight, securing the boot firmly to the foot. The laces, a simple yet crucial detail, ensured that the boots would remain secure even during arduous journeys across uneven terrain. They are a silent testament to the functionality and resilience of Viking design. The craftsmanship is evident in every detail, from the carefully chosen leather to the precisely placed stitching, creating a boot that is both protective and comfortable. Moving upward, let us consider the protection of the hands. Gloves or mittens were indispensable for protecting these delicate and vital appendages from the harsh winter elements. The choice of material depended on the need for dexterity versus maximum warmth. Leather gloves, often supple and well-worn, offered a good balance between protection and dexterity. Feel the smooth yet tough texture of the leather, its softness and resilience a testament to its quality. Imagine the subtle nuances in the leather's coloring and texture, a consequence of the tanning process and the individual hide's characteristics. Each pair of gloves, slightly different, a unique reflection of the artisan's craft. For maximum warmth, mittens were often preferred. Mittens, constructed from thicker materials like wool or fur, offered superior insulation at the cost of some dexterity. Imagine the warmth provided by thick woolen mittens, their fibers trapping warm air against the hand. Feel the soft, comforting texture of the wool, its density a reassuring barrier against the cold. Alternatively, fur mittens, made from the softest and warmest furs, provided exceptional protection. The softness of the fur, a luxurious contrast to the biting wind. Imagine the dense pile of the fur, trapping the warmth close to the skin, providing a comforting insulation against the cold. The various types of mittens, reflecting the diverse needs and preferences of the Vikings, are a testament to their ingenuity and adaptation. Finally, let us consider the head, the most exposed and vulnerable part of the body to the elements. Headwear was crucial for protecting the head, ears and neck from frostbite and the chilling wind. The simplest form of headwear would be a woolen cap, tightly woven and thick. Feel the softness of the wool against your skin, its simple yet effective warmth, a comforting presence against the cold. The cap, fitted snugly to the head, would offer protection against wind and light snow. The woolen fibers, trapping warm air close to the scalp, provided essential insulation. Picture the various colors and textures of the wool, depending on the dye and the specific animal it came from. It's a simple yet effective layer of protection. For greater protection against the harshest conditions, a hood, often attached to a cloak or a separate garment, offered enhanced coverage. Imagine the hood, drawn tightly around the face and neck, offering a protective barrier against the wind and snow. Feel the weight of the hood, its warmth and security a comforting presence. The hood, often made from wool or fur, provided additional insulation for the ears and neck, the most vulnerable parts of the body to cold. Picture the different shapes and sizes of the hoods, a reflection of individual preferences and the varying climate conditions. It's a comforting thought, the reassuring weight of the hood, keeping out the elements. The Vikings understood the importance of layered clothing, and the head was no exception. The combination of a cap and a hood, or a hood integrated into a cloak, ensured maximum protection against the cold, a testament to their pragmatic approach to winter survival. Each garment, carefully chosen and meticulously constructed, served a vital purpose in protecting the Viking from the harsh winter environment, a testament to their resourcefulness and ingenuity. Breathe deeply and allow yourself to drift off into a peaceful, warm sleep. Now let us descend from the protective layers of clothing to the very foundation of a Viking's winter night's rest, their bedding and sleeping arrangements. Imagine the interior of a longhouse, the air thick with the scent of wood smoke and dried herbs. The fire, a comforting heart of warmth, casts flickering shadows on the rough-hewn wooden walls. But even within the relative warmth of the longhouse, the Scandinavian winter demands careful consideration of sleeping arrangement. The Vikings were masters of utilizing readily available materials to create surprisingly effective insulation against the cold. The floor itself was often the base layer, typically packed earth, sometimes overlaid with straw or rushes for added cushioning and insulation. Feel the texture of dried straw beneath your fingers, coarse yet surprisingly springy, its uneven surface subtly conforming to the body. Picture the warm, earthy scent of the straw, a natural fragrance reminiscent of fields and summer harvests, a comforting counterpoint to the winter's chill. This simple foundation provided a surprisingly effective barrier against the cold earth, trapping a layer of air for insulation. The rushes, with their long, slender leaves, added another dimension of texture, their supple nature gently conforming to the body's contours. Imagine the slight rustling sound as you settle into the bed, a soothing murmur that lulls you into a state of peaceful relaxation. The natural materials worked in harmony, providing a surprisingly comfortable and insulated base. Atop this base layer came the bedding itself. Animal skins were paramount. Sheepskin, reindeer hide, or even the thick, luxurious furs of bear or wolf. Imagine the feel of a sheepskin, soft and yielding against your skin. Feel the subtle variations in the texture, the smooth, almost downy softness of the fleece, in contrast to the tougher, more leathery texture of the skin itself. The natural oils of the sheep's fleece trap warmth, and the dense, woolly undercoat provides an effective barrier against the cold. Picture the warm, earthy scent of the sheepskin, a reminder of nature's generosity. A reindeer hide, thinner yet incredibly durable, offered another option. Its smooth, almost suede-like texture, a pleasing contrast to the sheepskin's wool. Imagine the slightly grainy feel of the reindeer hide. Its resilience, a testament to the animal's ability to withstand harsh winters. But the Vikings didn't rely on a single layer for warmth. The layering principle extended to their bedding as well. Several skins would often be placed one atop the other, creating a veritable fortress against the cold. Picture multiple layers of sheepskin, the soft fleece trapped between layers of thicker hides, creating an almost cloud-like softness. Feel the cumulative warmth of these layers, their combined thickness providing exceptional insulation. Imagine the transition from the cooler outer layers to the progressively warmer ones closer to your body. A gradual increase in warmth that gently embraces and soothes. The different textures and weights create a satisfying tactile experience, a comforting blend of softness and resilience. Wool played an equally important role in Viking bedding. Thick woolen blankets or cloaks, woven from the fleece of sheep or other animals, were often used to further enhance the warmth. Imagine the softness of a thick woolen blanket draped over you, its weight a comforting pressure against your body. Feel the individual fibers, fine and soft against your skin, trapping layers of warm air. Picture the rich, deep colors of the wool, perhaps dyed with natural pigments derived from plants or minerals. The wool, a natural insulator, provided another layer of warmth and comfort. Beyond the skins and wool, layers of woven cloth could also be found, acting as a barrier against moisture and providing further insulation. These fabrics, woven from flax or other fibers, might have been both coarse and finely woven pieces depending on their purpose. Imagine the subtle textures, the smooth, almost silken feel of a finely woven linen cloth, contrasted with the slightly rougher texture of a more coarsely woven fabric. The woven layers added yet another dimension of warmth and comfort. Finally, consider the sleeping arrangements themselves. The Vikings frequently slept in communal spaces with families sharing sleeping areas within the longhouse. Imagine a scene of several people, wrapped in their layers of skins and blankets, huddled together for warmth, the combined body heat creating a microclimate of surprising comfort. The closeness fostered a sense of community and shared resilience, the warmth of human bodies providing an additional layer of protection against the chill. The choice of sleeping location also played a role. Sleeping near the central fire was naturally preferable, allowing for radiant heat to reach the bedding. Imagine the warmth emanating from the fire, gradually permeating the layers of bedding, providing a comforting, consistent warmth throughout the night. The proximity to the fire, however, also carried a risk of smoke inhalation and potential burns, so a balanced approach was essential. The Vikings' sleeping arrangements, a testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness, were a remarkable system of layered warmth and comfort. Each element, from the packed earth floor to the multiple layers of skins and blankets, played a vital role in creating a refuge against the harsh Scandinavian winter. Breathe deeply. Feel the weight of the many layers of warmth, and let the image of a cozy Viking longhouse filled with the scent of wood smoke and the warmth of shared bodies lull you into a peaceful sleep. The warmth of the shared body heat and the proximity to the fire were crucial to surviving the long, dark nights, but even the most skillfully constructed sleeping arrangements wouldn't have been sufficient without a reliable supply of food throughout the winter months. The Vikings, masters of adaptation, developed ingenious methods of food preservation and storage, ensuring sustenance during the lean periods when hunting and foraging were challenging. Let us delve into these techniques, visualizing each step as if we were standing alongside a Viking family, preparing for the winter ahead. First, consider the meticulous process of salting. Imagine the scene. A late autumn day, the air crisp with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth. A freshly slaughtered pig, its skin gleaming faintly in the fading light, lies on a rough-hewn wooden table. Nearby, large wooden barrels stand ready, their staves tightly bound with iron hoops. The air is thick with the scent of salt, coarse, grayish-white crystals, piled high in woven baskets. Observe the methodical work of the villagers. The pig is carefully butchered, its meat meticulously separated into cuts of varying sizes. Each piece is then generously rubbed with salt, the crystals gradually penetrating the flesh, drawing out moisture and inhibiting the growth of spoilage bacteria. The process is slow, deliberate, almost meditative. Feel the texture of the coarse salt between your fingers. Imagine the slight grit against your skin. Inhale the sharp, clean scent of the salt, its minerally fragrance, a promise of preservation. The salted meats are then carefully packed into the barrels, each layer interspaced with more salt. The barrels are filled to the brim, their contents pressed down firmly to ensure even distribution of the salt. Finally, the barrels are sealed tightly with wooden lids, secured with additional rope or iron straps. Imagine the satisfying thud of the lid fitting snugly into place, the sound a testament to the winter's security. These barrels, stored in a cool, dry cellar or dug into the earth, would hold their precious cargo for months, providing a reliable source of protein throughout the winter. The process extends beyond pig meat. Fish, too, was frequently preserved using this same technique. Picture plump herring or cod, salted and carefully packed into barrels, their silvery scales catching the flicker of candlelight in the cool cellar. Drying was another essential preservation method. Imagine strings of fish, glistening slightly, hanging from the rafters of a longhouse or suspended from poles outdoors. The wind and sun work their magic, drawing out the moisture, leaving behind a tough, concentrated source of protein. The scent of drying fish, a strong, almost pungent aroma, hangs in the air. Consider the texture, firm, slightly leathery, almost jerky-like. The same process was applied to berries, mushrooms, and even certain root vegetables, each carefully strung and left to dry until they were hard enough to survive the winter months. Their color changes, their volumes shrink, but their concentrated flavor and nutrients are maintained. Fermentation provided yet another ingenious approach. Imagine large earthenware jars, their wide mouths sealed with cloth, bubbling gently as cabbage ferments into sauerkraut. The process, slow and deliberate, transforms fresh vegetables into a tangy, surprisingly nutritious food source. Inhale the pungent vinegary aroma, a potent reminder of fermentation's unique power. Feel the slight pressure against the jar's lid, the subtle movement evidence of the beneficial bacteria at work. Beyond cabbage, the Vikings fermented other vegetables and fruits, often using honey or other sweeteners to aid the process. The result was a diverse array of fermented foods that, aside from providing sustenance, also contributed vital vitamins and probiotics throughout the long winter months. Finally, consider the ingenious use of storage pits. Picture a pit dug into the earth, lined with carefully stacked stones and covered with wooden planks in a thick layer of earth. Inside, carefully wrapped bundles of dried herbs, grains, and preserved vegetables. The earth itself acts as a natural insulator, keeping the contents cool, dark, and remarkably fresh. Imagine the cool, damp scent of earth, the silence of the pit itself, a hidden storehouse protecting the family's winter provision. The temperature remains stable, the contents well protected from the elements and pests. These techniques, developed over centuries of experience, enabled the Vikings to survive the harsh Scandinavian winters. Each method, salting, drying, fermentation, storage in pits, represents a testament to their profound understanding of nature, their ingenuity, and their unwavering resilience. Now, allow the image of these preserved foods, the salted meats, the dried fish, the fermented vegetables, to fill your mind. Feel the warmth of the fire, the comforting weight of the bedding, and drift into a peaceful sleep, nourished by the image of Viking ingenuity and the promise of a new day. The meticulous preservation methods of the Vikings ensured a surprisingly diverse and nutritious winter diet, far removed from the simplistic image often presented. Consider the protein sources. Salted meats, the mainstay, provided essential amino acids. Imagine the taste of salted pork, its slightly briny flavor enhanced by the subtle smokiness from the curing process. Picture the texture, firm but not tough, a satisfying chewiness that speaks of its long preservation. Salted fish, particularly herring and cod, offered a different profile, their flesh flaking easily, their flavor more delicate yet still imbued with a salty tang. Dried fish, with its firmer, almost jerky-like texture, provided a concentrated source of protein perfect for travel or longer periods between meals. Its taste, more intense than the salted versions, held a certain earthy complexity. Remember the visual, rows of glistening fish hanging in the smokehouse, slowly surrendering their moisture to the air. Beyond these core proteins, the Viking winter diet included a surprising array of vegetables, their nutritional value carefully preserved through fermentation and drying. Picture the vibrant purple of dried bilberries, their shrunken forms holding the concentrated sweetness of autumn. Their slightly tart flavor, intensified by the drying process, would have been a welcome contrast to the saltiness of the preserved meats. Imagine chewing on them, feeling their leathery texture, the burst of sweet tart flavor, a momentary reminder of warmer days. Lingonberries, with their slightly bittersweet taste, would also have been preserved through drying, providing another source of vitamins and antioxidants. Consider the process: carefully picked berries, strung onto lengths of twine, hanging in the sun, slowly losing their moisture, their color deepening, their flavor intensifying. Fermented vegetables provided not only essential vitamins but also vital probiotics, crucial for gut health during the long winter months. Sauerkraut, made from fermented cabbage, was a staple. Imagine the pungent aroma, the sharp tang that awakens the taste buds. Feel the satisfying crunch as you bite into it. The acidic sharpness cutting through the richness of the salted meats. The visual, pale green cabbage transformed into a vibrant, tangy, fermented delight, sealed in earthenware jars, bubbling gently, evidence of the beneficial bacteria at work. Beyond sauerkraut, other vegetables and perhaps fruits, depending on the year's bounty, would have been fermented, using honey or other sweeteners to aid the process. This created a surprisingly diverse array of fermented foods, each offering a unique flavor profile and nutritional contribution. The role of grains in the Viking winter diet should not be overlooked. Picture carefully stored barley, rye, or oats, protected from pests and the elements in underground storage pits. The grains, carefully harvested and threshed, then meticulously cleaned and dried, formed the foundation of many dishes. Imagine the warmth of freshly baked bread, its crust golden brown, its interior soft and yielding, providing complex carbohydrates for energy. Porridges, made from various grains and often mixed with dried fruits or berries, offered a comforting warmth on a cold winter day. Imagine the thick, creamy texture of such a porridge, its flavor subtle yet deeply satisfying. The ingenious use of storage pits was crucial in preserving the winter's food supplies. Picture these pits, carefully dug into the earth, their walls lined with stones or wood, their contents protected from the elements and pests. The earth itself, an ancient form of natural refrigeration, maintained a relatively stable temperature, ensuring the preservation of not only grains and vegetables, but also dried herbs, adding depth and complexity to the winter meals. Imagine the aroma, the earthy scent of the soil, mingled with the faint fragrances of dried herbs and preserved foods, a fragrant testament to the Vikings' ingenuity. The overall impression is not one of scarcity, but of a cleverly planned and meticulously executed strategy. The Viking winter diet, far from being monotonous, comprised a surprising variety of foods, carefully preserved to maintain their nutritional value throughout the long, dark months. The salted meats, dried fish, fermented vegetables, and carefully stored grains constituted a diet that was surprisingly balanced and nutritious. These preservation techniques, a testament to their understanding of natural processes and their unwavering resourcefulness, enabled the Vikings to endure the harsh Scandinavian winters, ensuring their health and well-being until the return of spring. Now, consider the warmth of the hearth, the satisfying weight of the preserved foods, and gently allow yourself to drift off to sleep, nourished by the story of Viking resilience and resourcefulness. The scent of wood smoke still hangs faintly in the air, a comforting reminder of the hearth's warmth. But even the most fiercely burning fire cannot provide the life-giving elixir that sustains a community through the long winter: water. Imagine the challenges faced by the Vikings. Their world transformed into a landscape of ice and snow, the rivers and streams frozen solid, the wells perhaps inaccessible under layers of frost. Their ingenuity in securing this essential resource is as remarkable as their methods of food preservation. First, consider the snow. Vast drifts accumulate, a seemingly endless supply of frozen water. Yet, simply melting snow is not a straightforward affair. The process begins with selection. One must choose the cleanest, purest snow, avoiding areas potentially contaminated by animal waste or other impurities. The purest drifts are often found in higher elevations, away from human settlements and livestock. Picture the Vikings venturing out into the snowy landscape, their sturdy furs protecting them from the biting wind, their eyes scanning the pristine drifts for the purest snow. The silence is broken only by the crunch of their boots and the whistling wind. The snow, carefully collected and brought back to the longhouse, is placed in large earthenware pots or wooden containers. These containers are often positioned near the hearth or perhaps over a gentle fire. Imagine the slow, deliberate melting process. The snow gradually transforms from a crisp white to a shimmering liquid, its icy structure yielding to the steady heat. Feel the warmth radiating from the container, the gentle hiss as the last vestiges of ice surrender. The melting process is carefully monitored, ensuring the water doesn't boil furiously, potentially ruining its purity and flavor. Observe the slow, methodical stirring, ensuring an even melt, minimizing scorching. Observe the changing texture of the snow, from fluffy and light to a smooth, clear liquid. Observe the gradual increase in the water level within the containers, a slow accumulation of life-sustaining liquid, a visual representation of the Vikings' resilience. Beyond the snow, consider the ice itself. Thick sheets of ice form on lakes and rivers, offering another potential source of water. Here the process requires different tools and more care. Imagine a Viking carefully chipping away at a thick sheet of ice, using a sturdy, sharp axe or perhaps a specialized ice pick. The work is slow and deliberate, requiring both strength and precision. The rhythmic clang of the tool against the ice, the shower of icy shards, the visual of a slowly growing hole, penetrating the frozen surface of the water. The process must be carried out with caution, ensuring the ice's structural integrity is not compromised, minimizing the risk of collapse. The extracted ice is treated similarly to the snow, carefully broken into smaller pieces and then slowly melted in the same earthenware pots. Now picture the challenges of storage. Once melted, the precious water must be protected from refreezing, a constant threat during the harsh winter months. Large, sealed earthenware jars kept away from drafts and close to the warmth of the hearth are essential. Wooden casks, meticulously crafted to be watertight, would serve a similar purpose. The Vikings understood the importance of insulation. Imagine these jars and casks wrapped in layers of furs or other insulating materials, further protecting the water from the relentless cold. The visual: rows of carefully stored jars and casks, lined up neatly, quietly holding the community's life-giving supply, a testament to thoughtful preparation and planning. But the issue wasn't just about collecting and melting. It was also about ensuring the water was safe for consumption. Boiling, while consuming more fuel, was a practiced method of purifying the water, killing any potentially harmful bacteria or organisms. Imagine the pot bubbling over a hearth, the steam rising, a visible demonstration of purification. The water, once boiled, would be allowed to cool, carefully monitored to maintain its purity. Furthermore, we must not overlook the ingenious use of underground storage. Certain springs and wells, situated deep beneath the frost line, might remain accessible even during the harshest winters. These sources of water, protected from the surface cold, represent a lifeline of consistent access. Picture a Viking carefully descending into a well, protected from falling debris by wooden supports, their lanterns casting flickering shadows on the damp walls, illuminating the clear, cool water below. The rhythmic splash of the bucket as it draws up the water, the sound echoing in the cold confines of the well, The visual of the lantern light reflecting off the water's surface. The process was not solely about acquiring and preserving water. It was about the continuous management of this essential resource. It was an everyday task, deeply ingrained in Viking life. From the careful selection of the purest snow to the meticulous storage of the precious liquid, every stage demanded care, foresight, and an understanding of the environment's challenges. Each action was a testament to the Vikings' enduring adaptability and resilience, a lesson in resourcefulness, a tranquil and reassuring thought to help you gently drift off to sleep. The rhythmic clanging of the ice axe, the quiet hiss of melting snow, the comforting warmth of stored water near the hearth. All these images, sounds, and sensations are designed to relax and soothe you into peaceful slumber. Breathe deeply and drift away. The water secured, the next crucial element for survival during a long Viking winter, was light. Imagine the gradual descent of the sun, its final rays casting long shadows across the snow-covered landscape. The shortening days, a constant reminder of the approaching darkness. The Vikings, unlike us, did not have the luxury of electric lights, instead relying on ingenious and often simple methods to illuminate their longhouses and navigate the night. Consider first the ubiquitous candle, not the mass-produced uniform candles we know today, but rather handcrafted creations, each one a testament to the skill and patience of its maker. Picture a Viking woman carefully dipping a wick, perhaps made from twisted flax or hemp fibers, repeatedly into a basin of rendered animal fat, tallow, or perhaps beeswax if available. Each dip adding a thin layer, building slowly, meticulously, a candle taking shape. Feel the warmth of the rendered fat, its almost buttery texture, the gentle scent, slightly sweet, slightly animalistic. Observe the slow, deliberate movements of her hands, the focused concentration on her task, the rhythmic dip, dip, dip of the wick, the soft glow of the hearth fire reflecting in her eyes, casting a warm amber light on her face, highlighting the subtle lines etched by years of hard work and resilience. Imagine the patience required, the time dedicated to crafting a source of light, a seemingly small act, yet integral to their survival. Once formed, these candles were carefully stored, protected from the cold and drafts that would harden the fat, rendering the candle unusable. Beyond the candle, the torch was another primary source of light. Here, the process was simpler, but no less crucial. Imagine the selection of the wood, perhaps birch or pine, known for their resinous nature, providing a long and bright flame. The wood, carefully chosen and prepared, was shaped into a long, pointed shaft, the end carefully splintered to create a receptive surface for the fire. Observe the Viking preparing this torch, perhaps sharpening the shaft with a flint knife, the rhythmic scraping sound, the visual of the finely crafted point, and the splintered end ready to receive the spark. The smell of pine resin, almost sweet and slightly medicinal, is a comforting scent. The spark, created with flint and steel, carefully coaxed into flame, igniting the dry kindling and slowly spreading to the main shaft. The flame begins to grow and flicker, consuming the wood slowly, providing a strong, dancing light. The careful shaping of the wood, the anticipation of the spark, the slow emergence of the bright light, this simple act, performed countless times throughout the harsh winter, would have become a ritual, a quiet source of comfort in the darkness. But beyond the artificial light, consider the importance of natural light. The Vikings made maximal use of what little daylight was available during the winter months. Imagine the Longhouses, their design reflecting a deep understanding of light and warmth. The placement of windows, small and often covered with animal skin or translucent horn, carefully positioned to maximize the penetration of weak winter sunlight. Picture the interior of the longhouse, subtly illuminated by the pale winter sun filtering through these rudimentary panes, casting a diffused, soft light that illuminates the hearth and the inhabitants. This light, albeit weak, was profoundly precious, extending the active day and reducing reliance on artificial light, conserving precious fuel. This natural light, limited as it was, played a crucial role in their daily lives, influencing their rhythms, shaping their activities, and providing a sense of connection to the outside world, even within the confines of the Longhouse. The Vikings were resourceful, understanding the limitations and maximizing the potential of every available resource. The slow burn of a candle, the bright dance of a torch, and the diffused glow of the winter sun, these represented not just sources of light, but reflections of ingenuity, adaptation, and the human will to survive the harsh realities of a Scandinavian winter. Let these images and feelings gently lull you to sleep. Feel the warmth of the hearth, the soft glow of the candlelight, the rhythmic crackle of the torch. Breathe deeply and drift away into a peaceful slumber. But the darkness, even with the carefully crafted light sources, cast a long shadow, not just literally across the snow, but also psychologically and socially upon the Viking community. Imagine the impact of weeks, even months, of reduced daylight. The relentless winter night, a vast, encompassing presence, imposed its own rhythm, its own demands on the human spirit. Consider the shrinking hours of daylight, the feeling of the sun's absence, not just a physical lack of illumination, but also a symbolic lessening, a fading of energy that mirrored the natural world around them. This prolonged darkness was not simply a matter of inconvenience, it held a profound psychological weight, affecting mood, energy levels, and social interactions. Imagine the subtle shift in the community's rhythm. The sharp, clear lines of the busy summer days filled with farming, fishing, and trade blurred into a slower, more introspective pace. The long nights, filled with the rhythmic tasks of candle making, tending the fire, and the quiet hum of storytelling, encouraged a different kind of social interaction, one more focused on intimacy and shared experiences within the confines of the Longhouse. The work itself slowed, becoming more deliberate, more thoughtful, reflecting the change in the natural world. The vibrant energy of the summer months gave way to a quiet, subdued energy, a resilience born of necessity and adaptation. Picture the storyteller, perhaps an elder, sitting near the hearth, the flickering candlelight illuminating their face as they recount sagas of old. The stories passed down through generations held a special significance during these long nights. They weren't merely entertainment, they were a connection to the past, a source of comfort and inspiration, a reinforcement of shared identity and cultural heritage in the face of the isolating darkness. The warmth of the fire, the soft glow of the candlelight, the familiar rhythm of the storyteller's voice, all combined to create a sense of security and belonging amidst the encroaching darkness. Feel the warmth radiating from the hearthstones, the rough texture of the wooden benches, the soft wool of the garments worn by the listeners. Inhale the scent of wood smoke mingling with the faint, sweet smell of beeswax from the nearby candles. Imagine the children huddled close to their parents, their eyes wide with wonder as they listened to tales of mythical creatures and daring heroes. The darkness outside held a different meaning for them, perhaps a source of fear. Yet, within the warm glow of the Longhouse, they felt safe, secure, and connected to the generations that had survived before them. The stories provided a framework for understanding their place in the world, both literally and metaphorically navigating the darkness. The storytelling was a profound ritual, a psychological counterpoint to the overwhelming presence of the night. The darkness also impacted the social fabric of the community in less obvious ways. The reduced daylight hours impacted work schedules and daily routines. While the outdoor tasks were curtailed, other activities intensified. The long evenings created opportunities for craft work, repairs, and the strengthening of social bonds. Imagine the women of the Longhouse gathering together, their fingers deftly weaving intricate patterns into tapestries or working on clothing repairs. The rhythm of their needles, the soft murmur of their conversation, the shared focus on their work, created a quiet sense of community, a bond forged in the shared experience of darkness. Feel the softness of the wool, the smoothness of the bone needles, the intricate patterns woven into the fabric. The men, too, found ways to adapt to the changed conditions. The crafting and sharpening of tools, the mending of fishing nets, and the preparation of winter supplies occupied many hours. The quieter, more intimate tasks encouraged collaborative work, discussions, and planning for the future. The shared labor fostered a sense of community resilience, a collective strength in facing the common challenge of the long, dark winter. Feel the weight of the axe head, the smooth coolness of the polished stone, the sharp scent of newly worked wood. But the darkness was not without its challenges. The prolonged absence of sunlight could have led to feelings of isolation, depression, or even seasonal affective disorder, although they would not have understood it in those terms. The Vikings, however, had their own coping mechanisms. The shared space of the longhouse, the rituals of storytelling, the warmth of the hearth, and the collaborative nature of many tasks mitigated the psychological effects of the darkness. These methods provided a social buffer against the isolating impact of the long nights. The community, in its structure and interactions, created a resilience that helped its members navigate the psychological demands of the winter. The social aspect was pivotal to surviving not just the physical, but also the emotional challenges of the dark season. The flickering candlelight, the dancing flames of the torch, the diffused glow of the winter sun, these were not simply sources of light. They were beacons of hope, anchors of stability in the vast, encompassing darkness. They represented the ingenuity, adaptation, and resilience of the Viking people, their ability to find light and warmth both literally and figuratively in the midst of winter's long embrace. Let these images and feelings settle upon you, gently guiding you towards a peaceful and restorative sleep. Breathe deeply and allow the darkness to lull you into the quiet embrace of slumber. The social buffer against the isolating impact of the long nights extended beyond the shared tasks and storytelling. Games and forms of entertainment played a crucial role in maintaining morale and fostering camaraderie during the winter months. Imagine the sounds of laughter echoing within the longhouse, a counterpoint to the howling wind outside. The flickering candlelight danced on the faces of the players, their expressions a mixture of concentration and amusement. These games weren't merely frivolous diversions, they were integral to the social fabric of the community, serving as opportunities for interaction, competition, and the development of vital skills. Consider Hinafataf, a strategy board game played on a checkered board, with pieces representing opposing armies. The game demanded careful planning, strategic thinking, and an understanding of both offensive and defensive maneuvers. Feel the smooth, cool surface of the game board, perhaps crafted from polished wood or even bone. Imagine the weight of the game pieces in your hand, their shapes and markings worn smooth from years of play, the quiet concentration of the players, the subtle shifts in strategy, the occasional outbursts of triumph or disappointment. These were all integral parts of the experience. The game fostered not only strategic thinking, but also social interaction, requiring negotiation, cooperation, and sometimes even a degree of playful antagonism. The very act of playing together, of sharing a common goal and experiencing shared emotions, served to strengthen the bonds within the community. Other games involved physical dexterity and skill. Imagine a group of young Vikings engaged in a game of nakkalikur, a ball game similar to modern handball. Feel the cool, smooth surface of the ball, perhaps made from leather or animal bladder. Hear the rhythmic thud of the ball against the wooden walls of the longhouse, the excited shouts of the players as they compete for possession. These active games provided a physical outlet, a way to burn off excess energy and maintain physical fitness during the sedentary winter months. They also fostered teamwork, coordination, and a healthy sense of competition, all valuable qualities in a community facing the challenges of harsh winters. Music and song also played a significant role in winter entertainment. Imagine the sound of a lur, a long curved horn, its deep resonance echoing through the longhouse. Picture a group of musicians, perhaps accompanied by a simple drum or lyre, their melodies weaving through the space, creating a captivating atmosphere. The music was often improvisational, reflecting the moods and experiences of the community. Feel the smooth surface of the instrument, the vibrations humming through your hands as you play. Hear the rich tones of the voices, the shared melodies creating a sense of unity and cohesion. The songs were often epic poems or sagas, recounting tales of heroism, battles, and mythology, reinforcing the cultural heritage and strengthening the collective identity of the community. Beyond formal games and music, there were countless other ways in which Vikings spent their long winter evenings. Consider the quiet evenings spent around the hearth, engaged in the intricate art of weaving, carving, or metalworking. Imagine the rhythmic click of a loom, the smooth rasp of a knife against wood, or the rhythmic clang of a hammer against metal. These tasks were not just practical, they were also meditative and creative. Feel the warmth of the hearth radiating onto your face, the subtle scent of beeswax and wood filling the air. The focus and concentration required for these activities provided a sense of calm and accomplishment, offering a much-needed counterpoint to the anxieties of winter. The finished products, whether tapestries, carvings, or tools, served not only as practical items, but also as testaments to the skill and artistry of their creator. These activities, both playful and practical, served a vital purpose. They were not merely diversions from the harsh realities of winter, but were integral to the social and psychological well-being of the community. They fostered a sense of community, cohesion, strengthened social bonds, and provided an outlet for creativity, competition, and the sharing of cultural heritage. The shared experiences, the laughter, the music, the collaborative tasks, these were the threads that wove together the social fabric of the Viking community, enabling them to withstand the challenges of the long, dark winter, the warmth of the hearth, the shared stories, the rhythmic sounds of games and crafts, the melodies of songs. These were not just sources of entertainment, they were the very essence of their resilience, a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Allow the image of the longhouse, filled with warmth, light, and the sounds of laughter and music, to settle upon you. Breathe deeply, and let the peaceful rhythm of the past guide you towards a restful sleep. And so, as the long nights deepened, the hearth fire glowed, casting dancing shadows on the walls of the longhouse, and the voices of storytellers rose, weaving tales that held the community together. Imagine the scene, the flickering firelight illuminating weathered faces, eyes wide with wonder, listening intently to the rhythmic cadence of a voice, recounting sagas passed down through generations. Feel the warmth of the fire radiating onto your skin, the scent of wood smoke mingling with the earthy aroma of wool and leather. These weren't mere bedtime stories, they were the lifeblood of Viking culture, preserving history, mythology, and moral codes. The skalds, the professional storytellers, were highly respected members of society, their memories repositories of vast knowledge. Their voices, honed by years of practice, possessed a hypnotic quality, capable of captivating an audience for hours. Picture a skald, seated upon a low stool, a simple wooden cup of ale beside him, his voice a low, resonant hum that filled the space, weaving tales of gods and heroes, of daring voyages and epic battles. Feel the texture of his rough-spun tunic against your skin as he gestures with a hand, illustrating his words. The weight of his words, heavy with meaning and history, hangs in the air. The sagas themselves were often epic in scope, spanning generations and encompassing a vast array of characters and events. Imagine the tale of Beowulf, a hero who battles a monstrous creature lurking in the depths of a dark and treacherous moor. Feel the icy grip of the night air, the oppressive darkness, the dread of the unknown. Hear the clash of steel against monstrous flesh, the guttural roars of the beast, the triumphant cry of the hero. The storyteller's voice would build in intensity, the pace quickening, the emotions rising to a crescendo before subsiding into a quieter, more reflective tone. The details were meticulously crafted, painting vivid images in the minds of the listeners. The descriptions of battles were realistic, capturing the brutality and violence, but also the courage and skill of the warriors. The depictions of gods and goddesses were awe-inspiring, capturing their power and mystery. But the sagas were more than mere entertainment. They served a crucial pedagogical function. They taught young Vikings about their history, their traditions, and their values. They instilled a sense of pride in their heritage and instilled moral lessons, illustrating the importance of courage, loyalty, and honor. They provided models of behavior, showing what it meant to be a virtuous Viking. Listen carefully to the subtle shifts in the storyteller's tone, the emphasis on specific words and phrases, the pauses that punctuate the narrative. Feel the weight of history in every word, the legacy of ancestors weighing upon each listener. Beyond the formal sagas, there were countless other stories shared around the fire. These were often more personal and intimate, recounting events that were unique to the particular community. Picture a farmer telling tales of a bountiful harvest or a skillful hunt. Imagine a sailor relating his harrowing experiences at sea, the storm-tossed waves, the perilous reefs, the miraculous escapes. Hear the hushed voices, the shared laughter, the occasional gasp of surprise. Feel the close-knit nature of the community, sharing experiences, anxieties, and hopes. The darkness outside was no match for the warm glow of the fire and the comfort of shared experience. These stories weren't just a form of winter entertainment, they were a vital tool for social cohesion. They reinforced cultural values, passed down knowledge, and strengthened the bonds between individuals and families. By sharing stories, Vikings created a shared sense of identity and belonging, a vital element in surviving the harsh realities of the Scandinavian winter. The telling and retelling of these tales helped weave the community's history into the fabric of everyday life, making it felt in a visceral, tangible way. Each narrative, whether grand or humble, became a testament to the resilience, creativity, and ingenuity of their ancestors. Forging a strong and enduring sense of cultural identity, the storyteller's voice, a soothing balm against the chill of the night, is now fading, leaving you cocooned in the warmth of the tales they spun. The embers of the fire glow softly, casting a gentle warmth, a quiet light that stills your mind. The sounds of the night, usually so prominent, are now muted and distant. The rhythm of the storytelling, slow and steady, has taken root within you. Feel the slow, deliberate beating of your heart, the rise and fall of your breath. Allow the warmth of the shared stories, the quiet companionship, the deep sense of history to permeate your being. The long winter night outside continues, but within you, a deep and peaceful stillness settles, guiding you towards the gentle embrace of sleep. The embers continue to glow, their warmth a comforting counterpoint to the chill of the night. As the last embers fade, the quiet settles deeper, a blanket of stillness draped over the long hall. But the night is far from over. For the Vikings, the long winter nights were not merely a time for rest, but a time for engagement, for the cultivation of skills and the strengthening of social bonds achieved through a variety of indoor games and recreational activity. Imagine the scene. The hall, dimly lit by flickering lamplight or the soft glow of a fire in a central hearth. The air is thick with the scent of wood smoke, ale, and perhaps a hint of roasted meat from an earlier meal. Families and neighbors are gathered together, not just for the warmth, but for the shared experiences that combat the encroaching isolation of the winter months. The youngest children might be engaged in simple games, their soft laughter a counterpoint to the murmur of adult conversation. Think of the intricate carvings of wooden toys, small animals, miniature ships, or perhaps even rudimentary chess pieces, their surfaces smooth from years of handling. Feel the smoothness of the wood against your fingers, the weight of these simple objects in your palm. Imagine the quiet concentration of a child painstakingly assembling a small wooden structure, their small fingers working with surprising dexterity. For older children and even adults, board games provided hours of entertainment. Hanefata, a strategy game played on a checkered board with pieces representing armies and kings, was a popular choice. Visualize the intricately carved wooden board, the smooth, polished pieces. Feel the texture of the wood beneath your fingertips, the subtle grain beneath your nails. Imagine the intensity of the game, the quiet concentration of players, their minds engaged in strategic calculations. Hear the soft clinking of the pieces as they are moved across the board, the occasional murmured comment, a sigh of satisfaction, or a low grunt of frustration. The game, far from being merely a diversion, demanded skill, strategy, and patience, qualities highly valued within Viking society. Other games required less formal equipment. Think of simple dice games, their clatter echoing through the hall as bets are placed and fortunes decided. Feel the weight of the dice in your hand, the cool smoothness of the bone or wood. Imagine the thrill of rolling a winning combination, the camaraderie of shared risk and reward, and the casual banter that accompanies such playful competition. Or perhaps a game of storytelling unfolds. each participant adding a verse or a twist to a growing narrative, fueled by imagination and a touch of healthy competition, the slow cadence of voices weaving a complex tale. The crafting of useful objects also provided both entertainment and a practical purpose. Imagine the rhythmic tap, tap, tap of a man carving a wooden comb, his knife a precise instrument in his skilled hands, the shavings curling softly to the floor. Feel the sharp scent of freshly cut wood, the warmth of the wood against his calloused hands. Or perhaps a woman is spinning wool, the rhythmic whirring of the spindle filling the space. See the strands of wool slowly transforming into a sturdy thread, a quiet act of creation and sustenance. Imagine the feel of the wool against your skin, the soft, comforting texture. Even the seemingly mundane tasks of the long winter nights could become opportunities for entertainment and social interaction. Picture a group of men mending nets, their hands deftly weaving the strong fibers together. Hear the quiet conversations as they share news, recount the day's events, make plans for the future. Feel the coarse texture of the hemp, the subtle resilience of the rope. Each activity, simple or complex, helped to fill the long winter hours, to create community, to preserve skills, and to combat the sense of isolation that could easily overwhelm individuals during the long, dark months. The rhythmic repetition of these tasks, much like the rhythm of a storyteller's voice from earlier, fostered a sense of calm and focus. The engagement of both mind and hand provided a meditative quality, a distraction from the cold and the darkness outside. These activities, far from being mere diversions, were deeply woven into the fabric of Viking life, providing both practical benefits and a crucial source of social cohesion. They helped build strong communities, strengthen bonds between individuals, preserved knowledge and skills, and ultimately made the long winter nights more bearable. The rhythmic sounds of these activities now fade, replaced by a deep and profound stillness. The weight of the day's work is gone, replaced by the calm embrace of rest. Your body feels loose and relaxed. Your breathing is slow and steady. The imagery of the Viking Hall, its warmth, its activities, its community, continues to fill your consciousness. Feel the warmth spread throughout you. The long night outside continues, but you are cradled in the peaceful warmth of sleep. The shared warmth of the fire, the comforting murmur of voices, the rhythmic repetition of tasks, these were the cornerstones of Viking winter survival, far surpassing the mere physical benefits of huddled bodies. The family unit, the bedrock of Viking society, played a crucial role. Imagine the scene: a large longhouse, dimly lit by flickering firelight, the air thick with the scent of wood smoke and roasting meat. The air is alive with sounds: the crackling fire, the low hum of conversation, the occasional squeak of a child's toy, the rhythmic tap-tap-tap of a woodworking tool. Consider the intricate division of labor within the family. The men, returning from a day spent perhaps chopping wood, hauling water, or mending fences, would contribute their strength and skill to the collective effort. Their hands, calloused and strong from months of work, would move with practiced ease, whether carving a new tool, repairing a broken piece of equipment, or crafting toys for their children. Feel the weight of an axe in your hands, the smooth grain of the wooden handle, the cool steel of the blade. Imagine the satisfying thud of the axe head as it cleaves through a log, the scent of freshly cut wood filling the air. The rhythmic action, a repetitive pattern, provides a meditative state. The women, equally crucial to the family's survival, would be engaged in a multitude of tasks. The preparation of meals, a complex and time-consuming process involving the preservation of food harvested during the warmer months, occupied a significant portion of their time. Imagine the warmth of the hearth, the simmering stew, the rich aroma of spices. Visualize the meticulous process of salting and smoking fish, the careful layering of vegetables in jars for preservation, the slow, patient process of grinding grains. Feel the warmth of the hearth on your cheeks, the comforting weight of a wooden spoon in your hand, the smooth texture of freshly baked bread. Children, too, played a vital role, contributing according to their age and abilities. The youngest children might assist with fetching water, collecting firewood, or tending to the animals. See them, small figures silhouetted against the firelight. their small hands carefully carrying a bucket of water, their eyes wide with curiosity as they watch the adults at work. Feel the cool smoothness of the wooden bucket against your skin, the weight of the water as you carefully carry it. Imagine their small, hesitant steps, the concentration on the task at hand. Older children would have more demanding responsibilities, learning essential skills from their parents and elders. Girls would learn the arts of weaving, spinning, and sewing, essential skills for creating clothing and household textiles. Imagine the rhythmic whirring of a spinning wheel, the smooth, cool feel of the spindle against your fingertips, the soft texture of the wool as it is spun into thread. Visualize the intricate patterns of a woven tapestry, the rich colors of the wool, the patience and skill required to create such a beautiful object. Boys, on the other hand, would learn to hunt, fish, and build, honing their skills in the use of tools and weapons. Imagine a young boy accompanying his father on a hunting trip, the quiet anticipation as they track their prey, the thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of providing food for their family. Feel the weight of a bow in your hands, the tautness of the string, the smoothness of the arrow shaft. Imagine the precise aim, the focused concentration, the satisfaction of a successful hunt. Beyond the immediate family, the extended kinship network and the wider community also played a critical role in winter survival. Neighbors would assist each other, sharing resources and offering support during times of hardship. Imagine a group of families gathering in one longhouse for a communal feast, the warmth of the fire, the happy chatter of voices, the shared sense of community and belonging. Visualize the abundance of food, the overflowing platters of roasted meat, fish and vegetables, the large wooden drinking horns brimming with mead. Feel the warmth of the fire, the camaraderie of shared laughter, the feeling of belonging to a supportive community. The sharing of knowledge and skills was another vital aspect of community support. Experienced hunters would teach younger men the intricacies of tracking and hunting, while skilled craftspeople would share their expertise with apprentices. Imagine a master craftsman patiently guiding a young apprentice, his hands carefully demonstrating the techniques of his trade, his words offering encouragement and instruction. See the careful shaping of wood, the precise placement of each tool, the slow, deliberate movements of an expert hand. Feel the warmth of the fire, the cool smoothness of the wood, the satisfaction of creating something beautiful and useful. Mutual aid and cooperation, ingrained in Viking culture, ensured the survival of individuals and families during the harsh winter months. Sharing food, providing shelter, lending a helping hand. These acts of kindness and generosity reinforced the bonds of community, providing not only material assistance, but also a sense of psychological support that was crucial for enduring the long, dark nights. Imagine the kindness in the eyes of a neighbor offering assistance, the warmth of a shared meal, the reassuring presence of supportive community members. Feel the comfort of a helping hand, the reassurance of a friendly face, the collective strength of a unified community. This intricate web of family and community support, built on shared experiences, mutual assistance, and a strong sense of collective identity, enabled Vikings to endure the challenges of the Scandinavian winter and emerge into the spring renewed and strengthened, prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. The image of the unified community working together fades now, leaving only the profound peace of sleep. Your breath is slow and deep, your body relaxed, your mind at ease. You are safe, warm, and cared for. Sleep now. The long winter nights, though filled with the warmth of community, also presented significant challenges to health and well-being. Illness, often exacerbated by malnutrition and exposure, was a constant threat. Imagine the chill wind whistling through cracks in the longhouse walls, a constant reminder of the elements battling against the warmth within. Picture the flickering firelight casting dancing shadows, illuminating the faces of those gathered, some perhaps pale and weakened by illness. Feel the rough texture of a homespun blanket draped over a shivering child, the gentle touch of a mother's hand on a feverish brow. The Vikings, however, were not helpless against the onslaught of winter ailments. Their understanding of health and hygiene, though rudimentary by modern standards, was surprisingly sophisticated for the time. Prevention, they understood, was paramount. Consider the meticulous care taken in food preparation, the thorough cleaning of utensils, the careful smoking and preservation of meats and fish. These weren't merely culinary practices, they were crucial preventative measures against foodborne illnesses. Feel the smooth coolness of a well-cleaned wooden bowl against your fingers as you imagine the careful scraping and rinsing. Imagine the subtle scent of wood smoke clinging to the preserved fish, a testament to both flavor and preservation. Cleanliness of person was also valued. While running water was not always readily available, the Vikings utilized various methods to maintain personal hygiene. The use of scrapers to remove dirt and debris from the skin is well documented. Imagine the smooth, cool feel of a carefully crafted bone scraper against your skin. The satisfying scrape as it removes the grime of a long day. Visualize the careful attention paid to cleaning under fingernails and between toes. Then imagine the warmth of a simple steam bath, a rudimentary sauna-like experience created by heating water over a fire and letting the steam fill a small enclosure. Picture the rising steam, the feeling of warmth penetrating your pores, cleansing your body of sweat and grime. Herbal remedies formed a significant part of their medical arsenal. Yarrow, chamomile, and willow bark were among the many plants used to treat various ailments. Imagine the rich earthy scent of dried yarrow, the subtle floral aroma of chamomile, the slightly bitter taste of a willow bark tea. Visualize the careful gathering of these plants, the knowledge passed down through generations, the careful preparation of herbal infusions and poultices. Feel the texture of dried herbs between your fingers, their subtle fragrances filling the air. For more serious injuries or illnesses, the role of the healer or sireman was crucial. These individuals, often women, possessed a deep understanding of herbal remedies, bone setting, and other medical practices. Imagine the quiet authority in their gaze, the calm confidence in their hands as they attend to a wound. Visualize the careful application of herbs and poultices, the gentle pressure applied to a broken bone. Feel the cool touch of a poultice on a swollen joint, the gentle soothing of the healer's touch. While surgery was a last resort, the Vikings demonstrated surprising skill in this area. Archaeological evidence suggests that they possessed a basic understanding of wound management, amputation, and even rudimentary cranial surgery. Imagine the precise movements of the skilled hands, the quiet concentration required for such delicate work. Visualize the tools used, the careful preparation of the patient, the unwavering focus on healing. Beyond physical remedies, the Vikings valued the importance of rest and proper nutrition in maintaining health. A balanced diet, including a variety of meats, fish, vegetables, and grains, was considered vital. Imagine the hearty warmth of a stew simmering over the fire, the rich aroma of roasted meat mingling with the sweetness of root vegetables. Visualize the simple yet nourishing meal, shared with family and friends, providing both physical sustenance and emotional comfort. The long winter nights, though challenging, were not simply endured. They were navigated with a blend of practical knowledge, communal support, and a deep understanding of the human body's needs. The image of the longhouse, filled with the gentle glow of firelight, the comforting aroma of herbs and cooking food, the quiet sounds of people working and resting, fills your mind. Feel the warmth of the hearth on your skin, the rhythmic beating of your own heart, the steady rise and fall of your breath. Let the quiet rhythm of the winter night lull you into a deep, restorative sleep. Your body is relaxed, your mind is calm, and you are safe. Sleep now. The long winter nights, though challenging, were not simply endured. They were navigated with a blend of practical knowledge, communal support, and a deep understanding of the human body's needs. The image of the longhouse, filled with the gentle glow of firelight, the comforting aroma of herbs and cooking food, the quiet sounds of people working and resting, fills your mind. Feel the warmth of the hearth on your skin, the rhythmic beating of your own heart, the steady rise and fall of your breath. Let us now delve deeper into the fascinating world of Viking remedies and herbal medicine. Their approach to healing was deeply intertwined with their understanding of the natural world, a tapestry woven from practical observation, passed down knowledge, and a profound respect for the power of plants. Imagine the scent of drying herbs hanging in the air, a fragrant tapestry woven from yarrow, chamomile, and the subtly bitter willow bark. Yarrow, with its feathery leaves and delicate white flowers, held a significant place in their pharmacopoeia. Its ability to staunch bleeding was well known, making it an invaluable asset in the treatment of wounds. Visualize the fine, almost silken texture of the dried leaves, their earthy fragrance, filling the air as a poultice is prepared. Imagine the cool, soothing sensation as the poultice is applied to a wound, its astringent properties helping to halt the flow of blood and promote healing. Feel the gentle pressure of the bandage, the slow, steady work of staunching the flow, the gradual easing of pain. Chamomile, with its delicate daisy-like flowers and sweet, slightly apple-like aroma, was prized for its calming and anti-inflammatory properties. Imagine the gentle steam rising from a cup of chamomile tea, its fragrant vapors easing tension and promoting relaxation. Picture the delicate petals, pale yellow against a white background, steeped in hot water, their color slowly leaching into the liquid. Feel the warm mug in your hands, the gentle warmth spreading through your body, the soothing aroma calming your anxieties. This was more than a simple beverage. It was a balm for the soul, a soothing remedy for frayed nerves and troubled sleep. Willow bark, with its distinctive texture and slightly bitter taste, provided a natural source of salicylic acid, a precursor to modern aspirin. Imagine the rough, slightly fibrous texture of the bark, the subtle bitterness on the tongue as it is chewed or steeped in water. Visualize the dark brown bark, meticulously harvested and carefully dried, releasing its potent properties into a soothing liquid, easing aches and pains, bringing relief to fevered brows. The slow, deliberate preparation of the tea, the careful attention to detail, the anticipation of relief. Each action is a meditation on the healing properties of the natural world. Beyond these common herbs, the Vikings utilized a wide array of plants, their knowledge gleaned from generations of observation and experimentation. Imagine the careful gathering of these plants, their roots carefully dug, their leaves delicately plucked, their flowers gently collected. Picture the knowledge passed down through families, whispered secrets of healing shared across generations. Each plant held a story, a legacy of survival, woven into the fabric of their culture. The Satermen, often women possessing extensive knowledge of herbal remedies and healing practices, held a position of respect and authority within the community. Imagine their calm, steady hands, their eyes filled with a wisdom born from years of experience. Visualize the quiet concentration as they prepare a poultice, the gentle touch as they apply it to a wound, the soothing words they offer to calm anxiety. Their skills extended beyond herbal remedies, encompassing bone setting, the treatment of infections, and even rudimentary surgery. Imagine their understanding of anatomy and the careful execution of their craft, the deep knowledge of the human body, working in concert with their intimate understanding of the healing properties of plants. Their approach was holistic, encompassing diet, hygiene, and rest, all playing crucial roles in maintaining health and resilience. Imagine the hearty stew simmering over the fire, a rich tapestry of flavors and textures, providing nourishment and comfort. Picture the simple, yet satisfying meal, shared among family and friends, providing not only physical sustenance, but emotional support and a sense of community. The long winter nights, far from being a period of fear and despair, were a time of reflection, rejuvenation, and a renewed appreciation for the power of nature and the enduring strength of the human spirit. The darkness held a mystery, but it was a mystery tempered by the warmth of the hearth, the fragrant aroma of herbs, and the quiet confidence in the remedies, carefully tended and passed down through generations. Feel the gentle rhythm of your own breath, the slow, steady beat of your heart. Let the calm, methodical nature of this narrative lull you into a state of profound relaxation. The imagery of the Viking longhouse, filled with the quiet warmth of community and the subtle power of natural remedies, envelops you, soothing your body and calming your mind. Sleep now, Let the quiet wisdom of the Viking winter nights guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. The darkness outside is peaceful. Within, your body rests and heals. The earth sleeps, and you sleep with it. The deep winter nights, however, were not without their perils. Accidents, often exacerbated by the treacherous ice and snow, were a frequent occurrence. Imagine the crunch of snow underfoot, the biting wind whipping across the frozen fjords. Visualize the slick surface of the ice, concealing hidden dangers beneath a deceptively smooth veneer. A fall from a height, a misstep on a snow-covered path, a sudden slip on the ice. These were all too common occurrences, often leading to broken bones, lacerations, and hypothermia. The treatment of these injuries depended heavily on the severity and the resources available. Consider a simple fracture, perhaps a broken arm or leg. The surgeon, with their intimate knowledge of bone setting, would carefully assess the injury, gently manipulating the broken bones back into alignment. Visualize the quiet concentration on their face, the slow, deliberate movements of their hands, the soft murmurs of encouragement offered to the patient. Imagine the splints fashioned from carefully shaped wood, bound securely with strips of leather or woven plant fibers. Feel the smooth texture of the wood against the skin, the gentle pressure of the binding, the slow, steady reduction of pain and swelling. The application of herbal poultices, perhaps incorporating comfrey for its anti-inflammatory and bone-healing properties, would further aid in the healing process. Picture the velvety texture of the comfrey leaves, their earthy scent mingling with the other herbs in the poultice, creating a soothing balm for the injured limb. More serious injuries, such as deep lacerations or puncture wounds, presented greater challenges. Visualize the deep crimson of the blood, staining the snow, a shocking contrast to the stark white landscape. The Vikings' understanding of blood clotting, their knowledge of effective methods to staunch the bleeding, was critical in preventing life-threatening blood loss. Imagine the careful cleaning of the wound, using clean water and perhaps a mild antiseptic derived from herbs such as yarrow or plantain. Feel the cool, soothing sensation of the water as it washes away dirt and debris. Visualize the preparation of a poultice, combining crushed herbs with honey, known for its antibacterial properties. Imagine the golden color of the honey, its rich, viscous texture, its sweet aroma contrasting with the earthy smell of the herbs. Feel the smooth application of the poultice, its gentle pressure helping to close the wound and promote healing. The treatment of frostbite, a particularly prevalent hazard during the long, harsh winter, demanded immediate attention. Imagine the pale, waxy skin, numb and lifeless to the touch. Visualize the slow, careful thawing process, using warm water or body heat to restore circulation. Picture the gradual return of color to the skin, the slow but perceptible revival of sensation. Herbal remedies, including those with anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties, would have been applied to alleviate the discomfort and reduce swelling. The deep understanding of the human body and its resilience, paired with the careful application of their natural remedies, allowed the Vikings to treat a wide range of injuries and ailments. Their knowledge wasn't just theoretical, it was hard-won, born from years of experience facing the harsh realities of the Scandinavian winter. Beyond physical injuries, the Vikings also understood the importance of addressing mental and emotional well-being. The long, dark nights could weigh heavily on the spirits, leading to feelings of isolation and despair. The warmth of the longhouse, the shared meals, the storytelling and song. These were vital components in maintaining morale and resilience. Imagine the flickering flames of the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls, providing warmth and a comforting atmosphere. Listen to the murmur of conversation, the low hum of laughter, the rhythmic sounds of storytelling and song. Feel the comforting presence of community, a shared sense of resilience in the face of adversity. The Cidermen, with their deep understanding of the human psyche, played a crucial role in providing emotional support and guidance during these challenging times. Visualize their calming presence, their soothing words, their empathetic listening. The preparation of comforting foods, rich in nutrients and calories, was essential for maintaining strength and resilience during the long winter. Picture the hearty stews simmering over the fire, their rich aromas filling the longhouse, providing both sustenance and a sense of warmth and comfort. Visualize the warmth spreading through your body, the feeling of satiety, the comfort of a warm, nourishing meal. These were not just meals, but rituals, acts of sustenance and community, bolstering spirits and promoting healing on both physical and emotional levels. Even with their considerable knowledge and skills, the Vikings understood that some injuries were beyond their ability to treat. The loss of life, though infrequent, was a stark reality. Visualize the quiet dignity with which they dealt with death, the respect shown to the departed, the somber rituals that marked their passing, the long winter nights with their inherent challenges and dangers, were not merely a test of physical endurance, but a profound exploration of human resilience, community support, and the intricate connection between the natural world and the human spirit. Feel the slow, steady rhythm of your own breath, the gentle pulse of your heartbeat. Let the image of a community huddled together in warmth and light soothe you. Allow the quiet, confident wisdom of the Viking people, their capacity to heal and endure, to settle over you. Let the darkness outside bring you peace, and the darkness within bring you sleep. The deep connection between the Vikings and the natural world extended far beyond the medicinal properties of plants. Animals, both domesticated and wild, played a crucial role in their survival during the harsh Scandinavian winters. Imagine the warmth radiating from a huddled cluster of sheep, their thick wool providing insulation against the biting wind. Feel the soft texture of their fleece against your hand, a comforting tactile experience amidst the cold. Picture the rhythmic bleating of the flock, a constant, reassuring sound in the stillness of the long winter nights. These animals were not merely a source of food and materials. They were living companions, sources of warmth, and vital contributors to the community's well-being. The cows, too, offered sustenance and comfort. Their milk provided nourishment. Visualize the creamy white liquid, its rich texture, its slightly sweet taste, offering a crucial source of calories and essential nutrients during a time of limited food availability. Picture the process of milking. A gentle rhythm, the warm milk flowing into a wooden pail, its comforting aroma filling the air. The animals provided a sense of security, their presence a reminder of life and abundance in a landscape often cloaked in snow and ice. Feel the calm, reassuring presence of these creatures, their quiet companionship contributing to the overall tranquility of the Longhouse. Beyond the livestock, hunting remained a critical aspect of winter survival. Visualize the crisp, cold air, the biting wind whipping across the snow-covered landscape. Imagine the hunter, bundled in furs, moving silently through the snow, their senses keenly attuned to the slightest sound or movement. Picture the stillness of the forest, the intricate patterns of the snow-covered branches, the delicate tracery of frost on the trees. The hunt was not merely a matter of providing food. It was a test of skill, patience, and endurance, a direct engagement with the harsh beauty of the natural world. Focus on the hunter's movements, precise and deliberate, as they track their prey. Imagine the rhythmic thud of their boots in the snow, the subtle creak of the branches under their weight. Their knowledge of animal behavior, their ability to read the tracks and signs in the snow, was crucial to their success. The hunt for wild boar, for example, required both courage and strategy. Picture the formidable size of the boar, its tusks gleaming, its powerful body a force to be reckoned with. Imagine the hunter's careful approach, the tension building as they draw closer, the adrenaline coursing through their veins. This successful hunt provided not just meat, but also other valuable resources. The hides of the animals were tanned and used to make clothing, providing vital protection against the elements. Imagine the rich textures of the different hides, the smooth, supple leather of deer, the coarser, thicker hide of a bear. Feel the warmth of the furs against your skin, their natural insulation protecting against the cold. The bones provided tools, the sinews served as thread. The entire animal was utilized, a testament to the Vikings' deep respect for the resources provided by the natural world, and a crucial element in their ability to sustain themselves through the winter months. Consider the logistical challenges of hunting and preserving the meat. Picture the meticulous process of butchering the animal, the careful division of the carcass, the methodical preparation of the meat for preservation. Visualize the smoking of the meat, the slow, deliberate process of curing it over a fire. Imagine the rich, smoky aroma, the deep brown color of the smoked meat. The methods of preservation were ingenious, ensuring that the spoils of the hunt would provide nourishment throughout the long winter. Feel the texture of the dried meat, firm and durable, a testament to the Vikings' expertise in food preservation. The winter hunt also provided opportunities for trapping smaller animals, such as rabbits and hares. Imagine setting the traps, carefully camouflaged in the snow, anticipating the movements of the animals. Picture the quiet anticipation, the thrill of checking the traps, the satisfaction of a successful catch. These smaller animals, while less substantial than a boar or deer, still provided valuable protein and helped supplement the diet throughout the winter. Feel the quiet efficiency of the trapping process, a testament to the Vikings' understanding of the animals and their behavior. The role of animals in Viking winter survival extended beyond food and materials. Their companionship, their presence within the longhouse provided comfort and a sense of security. Picture the animals nestled amongst the people, their warmth contributing to the overall warmth of the dwelling, their presence providing a calming influence. Feel the quiet rhythm of their breathing, a reminder of the interconnectedness of life, a testament to the Vikings' deep understanding of and reliance upon the natural world for their very survival. Allow the image of the animals, both domesticated and wild, their presence within this harsh winter landscape to bring you a sense of tranquility. Let their quiet strength and resilience serve as a gentle reminder of your own inner strength as you drift off to sleep. The hides, meticulously tanned and cured, formed the basis of Viking winter clothing. Imagine the process, the scraping of the flesh from the hide, the careful application of brains or other natural tannins, the slow, patient stretching and drying. Feel the texture of the damp hide, its subtle give under your fingertips, the earthy scent of the tanning process filling the air. This was not a hasty undertaking, it was a labor of love, a testament to the Vikings' resourcefulness and their understanding of natural materials. The finished hides, supple and strong, were then carefully cut and sewn to create garments that provided exceptional warmth and protection. Visualize the women of the Longhouse, their nimble fingers working with bone needles and sinew thread, meticulously stitching together pieces of hide to create sturdy tunics, trousers, and cloaks. The stitching itself was a form of art, each stitch a tiny testament to skill and dedication. Picture the rhythmic movement of their needles, the gentle click of bone against hide, the low hum of conversation filling the air. Imagine the variety of colors and textures achieved through the use of different hides. The deep browns and blacks of bear hides contrasted beautifully with the lighter browns and grays of deer and sheep hides. Notice the subtle variations in the shades, the textures, the natural patterns of the hides. Each garment was unique, a reflection of the individual who made it and the resources available to them. The construction of Viking clothing involved more than just sewing. The garments were often layered, creating a system of insulation that effectively trapped body heat and repelled the wind and snow. Imagine the weight and feel of multiple layers of wool and hide, the warmth spreading through your body as you pull the layers closer. Picture the careful layering, a close-fitting tunic next to the skin, followed by trousers and a heavier cloak on the outside. The cloak, often made from the thickest, most durable hides, provided an additional layer of protection against the elements. Imagine the weight of the cloak, its comforting presence, its ability to shield you from the biting wind. The maintenance of this clothing was crucial to its longevity and effectiveness. Imagine the daily tasks involved: brushing the fur to remove snow and ice, checking for tears or loose stitching, patching minor damage with spare pieces of hide and sinew. Picture the repair process, a slow, deliberate mending of a tear, the careful application of a patch, the secure stitching with sinew thread. Each repair was a testament to the Vikings' respect for their belongings and their understanding of the value of preserving essential resources. Consider the challenge of keeping the clothing clean and dry in the harsh winter conditions. Drying wet garments, especially thick furs, could take days. Imagine the meticulous process of hanging wet clothing near the fire in the longhouse, the slow evaporation of moisture, the warmth radiating from the fire. The smell of drying furs and wool would be comforting and reassuring. Picture the methods used to protect the clothing from dampness. the careful storage of spare garments in dry, secure places. The importance of this care cannot be understated. Damage to clothing meant lost protection against the elements. Beyond repair, the Vikings also understood the importance of modifying their clothing as the seasons changed. Imagine the adaptations made to their garments as the winter deepened and the snow grew thicker. The addition of extra layers, the tightening of seams, the careful use of furs to protect exposed skin. Picture the strategic use of hoods and mittens, providing vital protection for the head and hands. This constant adaptation, this ongoing attention to detail, demonstrates the resourcefulness and foresight of the Viking people. Imagine the process of replacing worn-out clothing. The making of new garments was a substantial undertaking, requiring skill, time, and resources. However, the alternative, facing the harsh winter unprotected, was unthinkable. Picture the planning involved, the anticipation of the coming winter, the gathering of hides during the warmer months, the storing of materials for later use. This forward-thinking approach, a testament to their long-term planning and understanding of the cyclical nature of the seasons, is a key element in their survival. The clothing itself was not just a functional necessity, it was a statement of identity. Imagine the pride a Viking would feel in their well-maintained, carefully crafted garments. Picture the unique designs and embellishments added to certain pieces of clothing, reflecting the personality and status of the wearer. The clothing, worn close to the skin, was a vital aspect of their protection against the elements. Imagine the feeling of security provided by the strong, well-made garments. The care and maintenance of winter clothing represented more than just practical survival skills. It represented a deep connection to the natural world, a respect for resources, and a dedication to community. The processes were slow and deliberate, meditative acts that reinforced the bond between the people and their environment. Let the quiet rhythm of these tasks, the precision of the movements, the quiet satisfaction of a well-executed repair, lull you into a state of peaceful relaxation. Let the image of warm, well-maintained clothing provide a sense of comfort and security as you drift off to sleep. This deep connection to the natural world, fostered by the meticulous care of their winter clothing, extended beyond the practical. It permeated the very fabric of Viking spirituality, shaping their beliefs and rituals surrounding the harsh winter months. Imagine the long nights, the darkness stretching for seemingly endless hours, the silence punctuated only by the wind howling through the cracks in the longhouse walls. This prolonged darkness was not merely an inconvenience, it was a time of reflection, introspection, and a heightened awareness of the unseen forces at play. The Vikings viewed the winter as a period of dormancy, a time when the life force of the land withdrew, mirroring the slower rhythms of their own lives. Consider the changing light, the diminishing sun, the gradual shortening of daylight. These were not just meteorological events, they were spiritual markers, signaling the transition into a realm of shadows and mystery. This was a period when the veil between the worlds thinned, when communication with the ancestors and the gods became more readily accessible. Central to their winter beliefs were the myths and legends passed down through generations. Imagine the crackling firelight casting dancing shadows on the walls of the longhouse as a storyteller, their voice low and resonant, weaves tales of Odin, the Allfather, journeying into the underworld, his quest mirroring the descent into the darkness of winter. Picture the details. Odin's eight-legged steed, Sleipnir, carrying him through the shadowy realms, the encounters with otherworldly beings, the challenges overcome. These stories, imbued with symbolism and allegory, were not mere entertainment. They provided a framework for understanding the harsh realities of winter, offering solace and a sense of continuity. The stories of Freya, the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, also held significant weight during the winter months. Picture her image, vibrant and captivating even in the dim light of a winter evening, as the storytellers recount her journey through the cold, her resilience, a testament to the endurance required during the harsh season. Her association with magic and enchantment added a layer of mystical significance to the winter, suggesting the possibility of navigating the darkness with skill and insight. The celebration of Yule, the winter solstice, was perhaps the most important spiritual event of the Viking year. Imagine the gathering of the community, the warmth of the firelight illuminating faces filled with both anticipation and reverence. Picture the preparations, the feasting, the offerings to the gods, the sharing of stories and songs. Yule represented a turning point, a moment of hope amidst the darkness, a time when the sun began its slow, gradual return. It was a celebration of resilience, a reaffirmation of the cyclical nature of life and death, and a testament to the community's ability to survive the most challenging of seasons. Consider the rituals associated with Yule, the burning of Yule logs symbolizing the sun's rebirth, the offering of food and drink to the ancestors, ensuring their continued protection, the exchange of gifts, strengthening social bonds within the community. Imagine the slow, deliberate act of preparing the Yule log, the careful placement in the hearth, the anticipation as it is set ablaze, the crackling fire, the warmth radiating outwards, provided not just physical comfort, it was a powerful symbol of hope and renewal, a reminder that the darkness would eventually give way to light. Beyond Yule, other winter rituals played a vital role in Viking spirituality. Consider the divination practices, seeking guidance from the unseen world during the darkest months. Imagine the use of runes, those ancient symbols etched into wood or bone, used for both communication with the gods and for understanding the future. The act of rune casting, the careful interpretation of the symbols, was a slow, contemplative process, connecting individuals to the ancient wisdom of their ancestors. Cider, a form of Norse shamanic practice, held particular importance during the winter months. Picture the cider practitioner entering a trance-like state, their body becoming a conduit for communication with the spirit world. Their movements, their chants, their gestures, all carefully performed rituals designed to bridge the gap between the visible and the invisible realms. Cider wasn't simply a form of entertainment. It was a powerful tool for understanding and navigating the challenges of winter, a way to commune with forces beyond human comprehension. The spiritual significance of winter for the Vikings was woven into the very fabric of their daily lives. The clothing, the stories, the rituals, all reflected a profound respect for the natural world and a deep understanding of the cyclical nature of life and death. The darkness was not feared, but embraced, seen as a time of introspection, reflection, and connection to the spiritual forces shaping the world. Let the quiet contemplation of these spiritual practices, their slow, deliberate rhythm, and their profound connection to nature, lull you into a deep and restful sleep. Let the images of crackling fires, ancient stories, and sacred rituals gently guide you into the embrace of slumber. The lengthening days, subtle at first, were keenly observed. The angle of the sun, the increased warmth on the skin, the gradual melting of the snowdrifts, these were not simply climatic shifts, but signs of a momentous transition. The arrival of spring for the Vikings wasn't a sudden burst of color and warmth. It was a slow, deliberate awakening. Imagine the anticipation in the Longhouse, the hushed conversations concerning the state of the stored food supplies, the careful assessment of the remaining animal hides. The process of preparing for spring began weeks before the first crocus dared to push through the thawing earth. Consider the meticulous task of checking and repairing the tools essential for farming and fishing. The axes, sharpened to a razor edge. The plows, their wooden parts meticulously inspected and reinforced. The fishing nets, mended with painstaking care, each knot secured with unwavering precision. The sounds of this work, the rhythmic tap-tap-tap of the hammer against metal, the creak of wood being smoothed, the soft whisper of mending fibers, would have permeated the air of the village, a gentle symphony of preparation. The livestock, thin and weary from the long winter, needed tending. Visualize the slow, careful process of leading the animals out to pasture, their coats still thick and matted from the cold, their movements hesitant after months of confinement. The fresh green shoots, though sparse at first, were a welcome sight, a promise of renewed vigor. The smell of the thawing earth, rich and damp, filled the air, mingling with the earthy scent of the animals and the clean, sharp smell of freshly cut wood. The sounds of bleating sheep, lowing cattle, and the contented clucking of hens would have formed a backdrop to this awakening. The transition also involved the careful preparation of the land. The process of clearing the fields was a gradual one. Imagine the slow, methodical work of clearing away the remnants of winter, the snow melting into the earth, the ice breaking apart under the sun's growing strength, the frozen soil gradually thawing under the warmth of the returning sun. Picture the Vikings using their tools to carefully prepare the land for planting, a patient dance with the earth. The feel of the softened earth between their fingers, the weight of their tools in their hands, the satisfying crackle of the soil as the plow cuts through it. These are the sensory details that marked this vital transition. The boats, essential for both fishing and trade, needed attention. The wooden hulls, exposed to the harsh elements throughout the winter, were meticulously examined for damage. Imagine the scraping of wood against wood, the rhythmic sound of caulking, the smell of pitch and tar filling the air as repairs were made. The sight of the boats, slowly being brought back to life, represented more than just practical preparation. They were symbols of hope, signifying the promise of new ventures and the potential of the coming months. The inner workings of the Longhouses themselves were not neglected. Imagine the meticulous sweeping and cleaning, the removal of the accumulated ash and debris from the hearth, the careful rearranging of furnishings, the smell of fresh pine needles, often used as a natural cleaning agent, combined with the scent of wood smoke that still clung to the walls, would have created a familiar yet revitalizing fragrance. The feel of newly washed floors, cool and smooth underfoot, would have added to the feeling of renewal and fresh beginnings. The spiritual aspects of the transition were equally important. As the days grew longer, the stories shifted from tales of winter's darkness to those of spring's renewal. Imagine the storyteller's voice, filled with a renewed energy, recounting tales of the rebirth of nature, the awakening of the earth, and the return of life and abundance. The sounds of their voice, weaving tales of growth and fertility, filled the spaces between the sounds of preparation. The community participated in rituals designed to encourage the bounty of the coming growing season. Imagine offerings of seeds and first fruits, placed on altars adorned with fresh flowers and herbs, their fragrant blossoms signifying a renewal of hope and faith in the cycle of life. The slow, rhythmic chanting of prayers, the quiet meditation on the coming seasons, all a part of the transition. The visual splendor of the emerging spring colors slowly reclaiming the land would have reinforced the hopeful spirit. The sounds of bird song, returning after a long silence, would have acted as nature's soundtrack to the spiritual change. The transition from winter to spring was not a sudden event, but a process, a slow and deliberate awakening, a time of careful preparation, both practical and spiritual, reflecting the Vikings' profound understanding of the natural world and their deep connection to the rhythm of life. The subtle sensory details of that awakening, the lengthening shadows, the sense of thawing earth, the sounds of renewal, are what we use to transport ourselves to that time, helping to slow the mind and ease the body into the welcoming embrace of sleep. Let the quiet unfolding of this process, with its sensory details, guide you towards peaceful slumber. The transition from winter's grip to spring's embrace was a testament to Viking resilience, a reflection of their profound understanding of their environment and their innate ability to adapt. Their survival wasn't merely a matter of luck. It was a carefully orchestrated symphony of practical skills, communal cooperation, and a deep-seated respect for the cyclical nature of life. Consider the meticulous repair of their tools, the sharpening of axe heads, the smoothing of wooden plowshares, the careful mending of fishing nets. Imagine the rhythmic rasp of whetstone against steel, the soft whisper of fibers being woven together, the satisfying thud of a newly forged tool head cooling in water. The scent of oiled leather and sharpened steel would have filled the air, a subtle yet powerful reminder of the Vikings' constant engagement with the practical demands of their existence. The intricate knowledge required to maintain these tools, passed down through generations, represented not just technological proficiency but a deep understanding of the materials and their property. The careful preservation of their equipment ensured their ability to continue the cycles of planting, harvesting, and fishing. Their success wasn't solely about the practical. Their spiritual connection to the land was integral to their survival. The lengthening days were more than just a change in the weather. They were a spiritual awakening, a time to reaffirm their connection to the forces of nature that governed their lives. Imagine the quiet gatherings around crackling fires, as elders recounted ancient myths and sagas, tales of gods and goddesses whose power was intimately linked to the changing seasons. The low murmur of voices, the crackle of the fire, the warmth radiating from the hearth, these sensory elements formed the backdrop for the transmission of knowledge and values across generations. These stories were not merely entertainment. They were the embodiment of their cultural memory, their history, and their understanding of their place in the world. They provided not only solace, but also a sense of continuity, a connection to the past that reinforced their confidence in facing the future. Their social structure, too, played a crucial role in their winter survival and their subsequent spring renewal. The communal nature of Viking society ensured a collective responsibility for the well-being of each member. The sharing of resources, the mutual support in times of hardship, the collective effort in preparing for the coming growing season, these were all elements of their social fabric that ensured survival. Imagine the cooperative effort in repairing the Longhouses, strengthening the walls against the potential threat of further storms, reinforcing the roofs against leaking, ensuring that their shelters were prepared for the uncertainties that the future might bring. The sounds of hammers, the creak of timbers settling, the shared laughter and conversation, these sounds are as vital a part of their story as the physical structures themselves. The meticulous preparation for the growing season reflected their astute understanding of agricultural principles. The selection of seeds, the preparation of the soil, the careful planning of the planting, all these were done with a profound knowledge of the land and its rhythms. Imagine the careful turning of the earth, the feeling of the fertile soil between their fingers, the scent of freshly turned earth, the sight of the first shoots of green pushing through the thawing soil. These sensory experiences represented hope, renewal, and the promise of future sustenance. Their survival depended on this connection to the land, this intimate knowledge of the subtle nuances of nature. The coming of spring was not merely a period of physical renewal, it was a period of social and cultural revitalization. Celebrations would have marked the transition, reinforcing their community bonds and renewing their collective spirit. Imagine the gathering of the villagers, their faces lit by the firelight, celebrating the return of the sun and the promise of a bountiful harvest. The sounds of music, the laughter, the sharing of food and drink, all these created a sense of community and belonging, reinforcing their strength and their resilience. The vibrant colors of spring, the sounds of returning birds, the blossoming flowers, these sensory experiences were a testament to the Vikings' deep connection to the cyclical nature of life, a reminder of their enduring relationship with nature. The story of the Vikings isn't just a tale of hardy warriors. It's a profound lesson in adaptability, resilience, and the importance of community. Their ability to survive the brutal Scandinavian winters was a testament to their ingenuity, their resourcefulness, and their profound understanding of the natural world. As the memories of their struggles fade into the night, may the echoes of their wisdom guide you towards peaceful slumber. Let the gentle rhythm of the waves, the soft whisper of the wind, and the quiet murmur of the night carry you into a deep and restful sleep. Let the images of the thawing earth, the fresh green shoots, and the returning birds soothe your mind and ease your body into the embrace of peaceful slumber. Let the sounds of the Viking night, the lowing cattle, the bleating sheep, the soft murmurs of the people, lull you into a tranquil and restorative sleep. Rest now and allow the tranquility of the Viking night to embrace you. Sleep well.